of this three-game set. The Mets move on to play Pittsburgh. And tomorrow night, we'll be on the air at 7:30 New York time. It'll be Craig Swan, 1-4, pitching for the Mets against Bert Blyleven, who has a record of 7-5. Friday night, we'll be on the air at 8 o'clock, and Nino Espinosa, 6-7, scheduled against Robinson, who has won 4 and lost 2. Saturday's night game will start at 7 o'clock, and Kevin Coble will be pitching for the Mets. Kevin has won none and lost 1, and he'll be opposed by Jim Rooker. Sunday it'll be Pat Zachary, and he'll be opposed by John Candelaria. Then the Mets return to Shea Stadium to take on the Philadelphia Phillies Monday night, and they'll have a twilight doubleheader on the 4th of July. That's Tuesday night. Mets and Cubs have met 8 times this year. Mets have won 3 and the Cubs have won 5. Cubs, though, currently are struggling. They have won just 1 game in their last 8. And they are 2 games back of the Philadelphia Phillies. So we're waiting now for the Cubs to take the field. In the Eastern Division of the National League, the Phillies on top by 2. Montreal third. They're 3 games back. Pittsburgh 4.5 out. The Mets are 9. And the St. Louis Cardinals are 13. Now the Cubs take the field. San Francisco winning over San Diego 9-1 yesterday as Vada Blue got the win. Leading Cincinnati by 2.5. The Dodgers by 6. San Diego by 11.5. And Houston by 13.5. Atlanta on the bottom, 16 games out. And now from Wrigley Field, our national anthem. And the final game of this 3-game set, each team has won 1. In the American League, in the Eastern Division, Boston leading the Yankees by 8.5, Milwaukee by 10, Baltimore by 11.5, Detroit by 14.5, Cleveland by 17.5, and Toronto by 25.5 games. In the Western Division, Texas leading Kansas City by 1, California by 3, Oakland by 5, the White Sox by 6.5, Minnesota by 8.5, and Seattle by 15. In case you missed the scores of yesterday's ball games, the Mets beat the Cubs 7-2. Pat Zachary being the winning pitcher. St. Louis won a doubleheader from Pittsburgh 2-0 and 6-1. The Dodgers shut out Atlanta 3-0. Philadelphia shut out Montreal 1-0. Houston defeated Cincinnati 7-4, and San Francisco beat San Diego 9-1. Now Lenny Randall in the batter's box. So coming in now for the play-by-play, Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Ralph Canna. Hello again, everybody. Lenny Randall is the switch hitter batting right, and he's hitting .228 with 1 homer and 15 runs batted in. 32-year-old left-hander Ken Holtzman dips into the motion, kicks and fires. And the pitch is low and off the glove of his catcher, Larry Cox. Ken Holtzman, who came to the major leagues with the Chicago Cubs originally, was acquired this time from the Yankees on June 9th, where he had a 1-0 record in 5 games. In 2 starts with the Cubs, he has lost to the Pirates and to the Phillies, so he's 0-2. Last time against the Mets, Holtzman's won 4, lost 9. That's low for a ball. He has not faced the Mets in National League competition since May 3rd, 1971. That pitch is high. He lost on that occasion 3-2. He did, however, defeat the Mets twice in the 1973 World Series when he was pitching for the Oakland A's, including the final game. Here's a pitch low. It's a walk to open up the game. Randall goes to first. Randall draws his 43rd walk of the year. Elliot Maddox is coming up. Maddox is hitting .277. He has 14 runs batted down against left-handers. He has batted .306. Maddox is playing center field today in place of Lee Mazzilli. This is the first game this year that Mazzilli has not started. He fouled a pitch off his instep yesterday, his right instep, and so he's being given a day off. Although he took infield practice at first base with the second crew. That pitch is in there for a called strike to Elliot Maddox. Steve Henderson is on deck. First baseman Larry Bittner holds against the runner Lenny Randall. Holtzman again sets it up and checks. Goes to first baseman. Randall is back. Mick Kelleher is playing second. Rodney Scott is playing third. Ivan De Jesus is the shortstop. And the pitch is on away. Elliot Maddox shortened up as though to bunt. Dave Kingman is playing left field. Bobby Mercer is in center today, and Gene Clines is in right. Steve Olivares is out of the lineup. He's been bothered lately with a bad shoulder, and also against left-handers, he's hitting .190. Here's the 1-1 with the runner going. Swung on line into right field, and it's going to be in for a base hit. And Randall's on his way to third. Gene Clines comes up, lobs the ball back in to Mick Kelleher. Runners at first and third. Elliot Maddox with a single to right on the hit-and-run play. That brings up Steve Henderson. Henderson is hitting .258. He has 8 homers and 40 runs batted in. The Mets yesterday got 4 runs at the top of the first inning. So they're trying to get on the scoreboard again here this afternoon early with runners first and third, nobody out. Henderson has struck out only 1 time at his last 33 times at bat after having struck out 4 times against Vida Blue at Shea Stadium. That is high and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Dow Maxwell is on the coaching lines at third base, and Denny Summers is the Met coach at first base. Willie Montanez has moved up on deck. Holtzman again set. Curveball is high. It's 2-0. For several seasons, Holtzman was the anonymous member of the Yankee pitching staff before being traded to these Cubs. Here's the 2-0. Swung on and foul back. It's 2-1. Bruce Froemming is the umpire calling balls and strikes here at Wrigley Field. Billy Williams is the captain of this umpiring crew. He is stationed at second today. Now Henderson's back in. Met runners lead at first and third. Olson's 2-1 pitch it on the ground up the middle, and it's charged by De Jesus. He goes to first, and in time a run scores, and Maddox goes to second. A run batted in for Henderson on a bang-bang play at first. He bounced it toward short. De Jesus had to charge it, got to it on the infield grass, made the throw on the run just in time to get Henderson. Randall scored. Maddox moved to second. 1 away, and the Mets are out front by a score of 1-0. Willie Montanez is the batter. Montanez bats left-handed, hitting .274. He has a 4-game hitting streak, 11 homers and 47 runs batted in. They shade Mercer in center over toward left against the left-hand batter, Montanez. Elliot Maddox leads at second base. Curveball is in there for a called strike. Tom Grieve is next to the Met batting order. Now again, Holtzman sets up. Delivers a curveball hit on the ground to first base. Bittner has it. Goes to the bag unassisted. Montanez is out and on the infield out. Elliot Maddox moves over to third. Two-away Tom Grieve is the batter. Hitting .233, 1 homer, and 5 runs batted in. His last start was on June 10th. Grieve is capable of hitting the long ball. The wind is of no great velocity. It is just waving the flag a little bit out toward left at the moment. Now here is the pitch. Low for a ball. It pays to know which way the wind is blowing at Wrigley Field. Because it frequently has a definite effect on the outcome. There's the pitch in for a called strike. It's 1-1. Grieve cocks the bat. Here's Holtzman's pitch. Swung on it on the ground, and it is going to go to shortstop. Evander Jesus up and throwing in time. He got him with a sparkler. Looked as though that ball would go through and produce another run, but it didn't because Evander Jesus moved to his glove side and cut it off and got the throw off. So the side is retired. There was a run on a hit. There was one left in the middle of the first to score as the Mets won and the Cubs coming to bat.
In 1969, Jackie Stewart won his first World Racing Drivers' Championship. He repeated in 1971, then again in 1973. What Jackie Stewart doesn't know about cars hasn't been written.
I do know that cars just don't perform the way they used to. One of the reasons is the unleaded gasoline that the new engines call for. Unfortunately, most unleadeds don't have the power that gasolines used to have. Well, Getty Unleaded Regular does. It delivers the kind of power you got from gasoline before they took the lead out. Getty Unleaded Regular actually delivers more power than most other major unleadeds. As an ex-racing driver, that appeals to me. And while Getty Unleaded Regular delivers more power, it costs less than most other major unleadeds. I don't know how Getty does it. But as a Scotsman, that really appeals to me.
Getty Unleaded Regular. More power for less money.
Jerry Koosman is on the mound this afternoon for the New York Mets. Koosman is 34 years of age. He has a record this season of 2 wins and 8 losses. His lifetime record against the Cubs is 19 victories and 12 losses. This year against them, he is 0-1, and Rodney Scott is coming up to lead it off. Rodney Scott is playing third base today. He is 5 for 14 since being brought up by the Cubs. He's hitting .357. Manny Trillo is still out of the lineup with an injury. Here's the pitch, and it's low. Scott is a switch hitter batting right. He shortened up his other bunt, took the pitch in the dirt. Evander Jesus is on deck. At third base, Lenny Randall's on the edge of the grass against the speed of Rodney Scott, who shortens up as though to bunt and takes the pitch in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Joey Malfitano, the coach at third. Swing, and it's knocked down at the mound by Koosman. He scrambles after it, throws in time. It was a line shot right back through the box. Koosman got a glove on it to knock it down, then had to scramble to get the ball on the grass. Threw high to first, but it was pulled down by Montanez, who kept the foot anchored on the bag for the putout. One away, Evander Jesus is coming up. Hitting .265, 3 homers and 16 runs batted out. Cookie Rojas is the coach at first for manager Herman Frank. Now here's the pitch, and it's outside for a ball. 1-0. And the 1-0 offering. That is in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Curveball swung on and missed. 1-2 the count, and Yvonne Jesus calls time. Goes over for the Pine Tar Rack. We were talking to manager Herman Franks before today's ball game. For so many years, Herman Franks and Leo DeRocha were inseparable. Herman Franks was on the coaching staff of Leo DeRocha when Leo managed the Giants at the Polo Grounds. Here's a swing and a miss on a breaking pitch, and Kuzman gets his first strikeout of the day. Ivan De Jesus swinging 2 away, and Bobby Mercer's coming up. Mercer's hitting .246. He has 3 homers and 23 runs batted in, a left-hand batter. Herman Franks and Leo DeRocha are no longer close friends. Here is the pitch, and it is low and away for a ball. Leo makes his home these days in Palm Springs, California. Has been doing some work out of the commissioner's office for promotion of the All-Star game. Dave Kingman has moved out on deck now for the Cubs. Count to Mercer 1-0. Now here is Kuzman into the motion. Curveball is low. Mercer has had only 3 home runs for the Chicago Cubs this year. Hit on the ground out of second base, taken by Flynn. He had perfect position. He goes to first, and the side is out. So it's nothing across. Eliminating the score is the Mets 1, the Cubs nothing.
Hi, I'm Gary Knoll for Natural Living. I know that all you Mets fans really enjoy an active and vital lifestyle. Well, so do I. And that's what Natural Living is all about. Weekdays between 2 and 4 and Saturdays between 10 and 2. We cover a lot of ground from soup to sex and everything in between. We also hear from many of America's leading health and nutrition experts every day. So join me, Gary Knoll, for Natural Living here on WMCA Talk Radio 57.
If your house or neighborhood is of historic significance, it could be eligible for the National Register of Historic Places, and you might be eligible for a federal loan for home or neighborhood improvement. For details, contact your local office of the United States Department of Housing.
Ken Holtzman on the mound will be facing John Stearns to lead it off for the Mets here in the top of the second inning. Stearns had a home run here yesterday. He's hitting .254. He has 6 homers and 27 runs batted in. Manager Herman Franks was a little perturbed before the game because coming to the ballpark he had read in the morning paper that Manny Trio said he was ready to play. He wondered why Manny Trio had not told him that. Pitch is inside low for ball. Started him off with a curveball as Stearns tried to bunt. So when he got to the ballpark, Herman Franks sent one of his coaches to check with Manny Trio before he made out his lineup card, and Manny said no, he wasn't ready to play. He hadn't told anybody he was ready to play, which displeased the Cub manager somewhat. Here's a pitch high. 2-0 the count. Tim Foley is on deck. And the 2-0. In there for a called strike. 2-1. They play Stearns to pull the ball. It's inside low and goes to 3-1. Holtzman takes the sign from Larry Cox. Swinging a base hit through the hole into left on the ground. Picked up out there by Kingman and played back, and John Stearns has a leadoff single here in the top of the second inning. Tim Foley will be the batter. He's hitting .225. 10 runs batted in. His last 33 times at bat, he's had 11 base hits. That's a clip of .333. Tim Foley, right-hand batter. Stearns takes his lead. Holtzman throws to first, but not in time. Bill Buckner Their number one first baseman for the Cubs is still on the disabled list. Now the throw to first, and again, Stearns gets back safely. Ken Holtzman sets up. The runner goes, and the pitch is high, and the throw to second, and he's out. Stearns just caught stealing. He's stolen 11 bases, and that's only the third time this year he's been caught stealing, but they had him dead to right. 2-6. One and 0 as the count to Foley at the plate. Holtzman turns to work now to the plate. The pitch is low for a ball. It's 2-0. The Mets got a run in the first inning, and they're leading it here by a score of 1-0 as they bat in the top of the second. That pitch is a called strike. Brought in there by Kenny Holtzman. It's 2-1. Again, the pitch swung on, and then it's 2-2. I start to say Ken Holtzman, and I'm inclined on occasion to say Ken Heitzelman, who was a left-hand Major League pitcher who now has a son in the Major Leagues, Tom Heitzelman. Here's a 2-2. Curveball that missed high, and it's 3-2. Nobody on base, one man out. Holtzman on the rubber. And the payoff pitch swung on and fouled off. Might have been out of the strike zone, but too close to take, so Foley leaned across and fouled it off. It's still 3-2. Now he's back in. Pitch is swung on and popped up to the right side. Bittner is retreating, but second baseman Mick Kelleher calls him off and makes the catch in front of the right fielder, Gene Klein. Foley pops second, 2 away, and Doug Flynn's coming up. Flynn's hitting .242. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 12 games. He has 17 runs batted in. The young man from Lexington, Kentucky. Doug Flynn came to the Mets from the Cincinnati Reds. Flynn originally attended the University of Kentucky on a basketball scholarship. Pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. There's nobody on base. Ball is bunted back and out of play. Flynn was trying to push the bunt to the first base side. It's a 2-strike count to him now. Kuzman is next in the Met batting order. Holtzman pops the ball in his glove, steps up to get a sign. 2-strike delivery. Fastball right in there for a call, strike 3. He really gunned it. First strikeout for Holtzman right down the pipe. There was a hit, but a caught stealing, so none were left in the middle of the second. The score is the Mets 1 and the Cubs 0.
Datsun builds a lot of wagons, and every one is a lot of wagons. Only Datsun brings you this complete fleet of economy wagons. The front-wheel drive F10, the luxurious 810, and now the perfectly sized Datsun 510, the best all-around Datsun wagon yet. With power front disc brakes, reclining buckets, steel-belted radials, 5 big doors, and room for the whole kit and caboodle. When it comes to choice, when it comes to quality, come to Datsun. When we build a wagon, we lay down one law. It better have room for everything, except improvement. Nobody demands more from a Datsun. Come Come check out the big wagon selection at your Datsun dealer today.
Jerry Kuzman on the mound for the New York Mets. He has a record of 2 wins and 8 losses, and he'll be facing Dave Kingman. Kingman is hitting .239. He has 15 homers and 41 runs batted in. Kingman has been trying to take the ball to right field of late, and he tripled down the right field line yesterday, and then his last time up, he hit a home run right down to the corner and left. As a matter of fact, the Mets thought that the ball disappeared from the park in front of the foul pole. Umpire Billy Williams said it went around the foul pole and was accordingly a home run when it left the park. In any case, it was number 15 for Kingman. Here is a swing and a foul ball up the right field line. He goes out of play. Then he took that little chopping inside-out swing to try to get the ball to right field. Chicago Cubs said that when Kingman came back to the dugout after hitting the home run his last time up, he apologized for having hit the ball to the left field corner. He's back in and waiting now with the count of strike one. Here's Kuzman's pitch. Fastball high. It's 1-1 to Dave Kingman. Kuzman delivers a curveball. It's swung on and missed. 1-2. Gene Kleins is next. He's also an ex-Met. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Fastball has swung on and popped up. Foul to the right side again. And again, it was that little chopping swing of Dave Kingman trying to take the ball to right field. Lou Fonseca is the batting coach of the Chicago Cubs. He's been around Chicago for many, many years. Pitch is low for ball was a curveball. Fonseca at one time was first baseman for the White Sox. For many years, he took the official World Series film. Kingman back in with a 2-2 count. Kuzman delivers a curveball, swung on and missed, struck him out. The slow curve, a change curve, second strikeout for Kuzman. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
You know, when you're with old friends talking over the good old days, there's a perfect time to call on the king of beers. Budweiser tastes just as good now as it did then. WMCA, New York.
In 62 games, Kingman has now struck out 70 times. This is Lindsey Nelson with Bob Murphy and Ralph Kiner at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Mets are leading 1-0. Gene Kleins is at the plate, one away, curveball low. It's 1-0. Kleins is hitting .281. He has 9 runs batted in. Now Kuzman delivers a fastball that's fouled off to the right side, out of play. It's 1-1. Kuzman kicks and fires inside for a ball. It's 2-1. And the 2-1 offense. Curveball, it's lined into left. Henderson's there, and he's got it. Gene Kleins lined out 2 away, and that'll bring up Larry Bittner. Bittner is hitting .271. He has 3 homers and 27 runs batted in. He came to the Chicago Cubs, the Montreal Expos. Mets are leading in this game by a score of 1-0. The Mets got a run in the top of the first. In their last 17 games at Wrigley Field, the Cubs have won 14. They are not beaten very often here. There's a pitch in for a called strike. But they were beaten here yesterday by the New York Mets. Again, the pitch, fastball, hit on the ground through the hole in the left for a base hit. Picked up by Henderson and played back, and that is the first hit and the first base runner for the Cubs off Jerry Kuzman. Mick Kelleher will be the batter. Kelleher has been up only 20 times. He's had 4 hits. He's hitting .200. 1 run batted in. Kelleher is a right-hand batter, playing second base today. Hittner leads at first. Kuzman's pitch is a fastball low, and it's 1-0. A little cloud cover has moved into the area of Wrigley Field now. The brilliant sunshine has disappeared. The humidity is comparatively low today. Very comfortable at the ballpark. Kelleher has the bat shot. Kuzman delivers, and there's a swing and a foul ball off to the right side out of play. It's 1-1. Kuzman has struck out 2, and he's walked none so far. Hittner leads at first base. Pitch to Kelleher. Misses low and away. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Larry Cox has moved out on deck. Here's the 2-1. Curve ball in there for a called strike. Slow curve. Swept right through the strike zone. So it's 2-2. Will he come back with the fastball? Yes, he will. And it's grounded to first base. Montañez has it. Goes to Foley for the force at second, and the side is retired on the 3-6 force. There was a hit. There was 1 left, and at the end of 2, the score is the Mets 1 and the Cubs nothing.
Hey, stop the music. Don't sing about it. Shout about it. Astoria has 2 great new ideas. Idea number 1. 8-year, 8% savings certificates that fight inflation with an effective annual yield of 8.45%. Minimum deposit $1,000. Big idea number 2, the Money Market Plus account. A 6-month certificate that pays 0.25% more than the latest 6-month U.S. Treasury bill, plus daily compounding. Minimum deposit $10,000, but topping the current market rate is good reason to put all your eggs in Astoria's basket. There are penalties for early withdrawal, so keep your day-to-day money in an Astoria day of deposit, day of withdrawal account. Okay, gang, now you can sing about it.
An idea designed to come through with many happy returns for you. The Astoria idea.
The Mets are leading by a score of 1-0 as we go to the 3rd inning. And coming in for the play-by-play, here's Ralph Kiner.
Thank you very much, Lindsey Nelson, and hi, everyone. Jerry Kuzman, the leadoff for the Mets. Mets have 1 run on 2 hits, and the Cubs have no runs on 1. Kuzman against Ken Holtzman, and the left-hander's first pitch, a fastball. It's inside a ball. Holtzman with a record of 1-2, his 1 victory coming in the American League while pitching for the Yankees. Next pitch to Kuzman, a fly ball hit out to shallow left field. Kingman coming up. Wind right at this point in the ball game is no factor, and it's an easy play for Kingman. Kuzman has had 4 hits and 36 times up with his time at bat in this game. Now Lenny Randle will come up. Lenny walked and later on scored. He has scored the only run of the game. Randle batting .228, 1 home run, 15 runs batted in. Randle batting from the right-hand side. And Holtzman starts off with a curveball and gets the strike. Holtzman's had a very good major league career, which started here with the Cubs. He's won 168 games while losing 140. Last year with the Yankees, he won 2 and lost 3. And he throws a fastball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lifetime record against the Mets, 4 wins, 9 losses. But he won a big one against the Mets, which doesn't show in his lifetime record. It was in the World Series. They do not count playoff games or World Series in your regular record because it's extra season play. A swing and a miss, a strike, it's 1-2. He won the 7th game of the World Series against the Mets in 1973. 1 1-2 pitch, and it's popped up again to shallow left field. Going back, the shortstop, Ivan De Jesus, and it is a foul ball as it drops beyond the reach of De Jesus, the third baseman, Rodney Scott, and the left fielder, Dave Kingman. So Randall back to the plate to count 1-2. Cubs have not won a pennant since 1945, and that was the last year of the war. Their last victory before that was in 1935. And a pitch in the dirt. They counted 2 balls and 2 strikes. In 1932, they also won, and they won in 1929. In fact, they have won 16 pennants. But they all came, the majority of them came in the early part of baseball. There's a ground ball hit foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In 1935, they won 21 consecutive ball games to edge out the St. Louis Cardinals, a Gas House game. Gas House gang had won in 1934. Now a pitch for a ball. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. On that 1935 team, a 19-year-old first baseman by the name of Phil Cavaretta, who's the batting coach for the Mets. And the next pitch to Randall is popped up in foul territory. Larry Bittner over by the Met dugout is under it, and he makes the catch. 2 men away. When the Cubs won their 20th ball game, they won it on a home run by Phil Cavaretta. It was hit against Paul Dean, and it was the only run of the ball game. Next day, the Cubs beat Dizzy Dean to win their 21st game on the road, and they won the pennant. 1935. In 1938, they won. And then 1945. A high pitch to Elliot Maddox, who singled on a hit-and-run play to set up a run for the Mets in the first inning. That's ball 1. And the next pitch back is too low. Fastball again, 2 balls, no strikes. In 1935, Cubs in winning drew 1,400,000, which was really a tremendous amount of attendance in those days. And the pitch way low, and it's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. The 3-0 pitch. It's too low, and Maddox walks on 4 pitches. That puts a runner on with 2 men out and brings up Steve Henderson. Henderson got a run batted in on a ground ball his first time up when he was thrown out at first. It was his 41st run batted in. He's batting .257. In the 30s, the competition was mainly between the Cubs, the Giants, and the Cardinals until 1939, when the Cincinnati Reds got in the act and won in 39 and 40. And the first pitch to Henderson, a curveball over a called strike. Cardinals led by Frankie Frisch. Cubs at one point led by Joe McCarthy. Giants led by Bill Terry. 1 strike pitch on the way. A hard smash. It's in the hole and on through in the left field, a base hit. Maddox goes to second base and holds there as Kingman plays the ball back in. And the Mets have runners at first and second base. That'll bring up Willie Montañez, who grounded out his first time up. Mets leading 1-0. They have picked up their 3rd base hit of the ball game. And Montañez, who leads the club in runs batted in with 47. That's 3rd in the National League. Stepping into the batter's box. batting at .273. Charlie Grimm also managed some of the outstanding Cub teams. First baseman for the Cubs. He is an honorary vice president now. First pitch to Montañez. It's swung on, and the bat sails right by Holtzman, who has to jump out of the way. Ball was traveling at a very high speed when Holtzman had to duck away for his life. So Willie now over to the on-deck circle for the pine tar rag as the bat boy brings the bat back in. Cubs have gone through all kinds of managers. In fact, at one time they had a revolving coaches plan. No managers, just different coaches running the ball club for a certain interval. They'd be replaced and another coach would take over, and this included people from the minor leagues. But they have settled on Herman Franks now. Affable manager of the Cubs, and pitch back outside. A curveball missing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Herman doesn't take his job too seriously. He's always ready to talk and expounds his theories at the drop of a hat. 1-1 the count to Montañez, and here's the pitch. Fastball in tight, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Herman Franks is usually flanked by his first lieutenant, who played for the Cubs for many years, Harry Lowry, better known as Peanuts Lowry. Got the nickname because of his size. 2-1, and the pitch. Curveball hit in the air to deep right field. Going back as Kleins. He has room. He's in the well in right field, and he makes the catch. That retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, a walk, and 2 men left on. And the score at the end of 2.5 innings, the Mets won, the Cubs nothing. Well, if you weren't at Shea Stadium for last year's Mets Old Timers Day, you weren't an eyewitness to one of the most nostalgic moments in New York baseball history when Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Joe DiMaggio, and Duke Snider made their grand entrance together from center field. And if you're not at Shea Stadium for this season's Old Timers Day on Saturday afternoon, July 8th, you won't be an eyewitness to more thrilling moments like this one. Willie Mays, Joe DiMaggio have already accepted invitations, as have Stan Musial, Roy Campanella, Carl Erskine, Monty Irvin, Johnny Mines, Bob Feller, Johnny Vandermeer, Lou Boudreau, Fred Lindstrom, Joe Cronin, Whitey Ford, Joe Torre, Bobby Thompson, Tony Conigliaro, and new Hall of Famer Eddie Matthews. Mickey Mantle has accepted, but he has been ill and he had to cancel out. The theme is hitters and no-hitters. This means that many of the game's greatest hitters will be on hand, along with pitchers who have hurled at least 2 no-hitters or a perfect game. Of course, there will be some special guests and maybe a surprise or 2 as well. That's the annual Mets Old Timers Day at Shea, Saturday, July 8th. Pre-game introductions begin about 2:45 p.m. following Old Timers batting practice, and there will be the traditional Old Timers game. All this precedes the regularly scheduled Mets-Chicago Cub game at 4:05. It's the Cub half of the third. The Mets leading 1-0. In this game, a contrast to the first 2 games, which were slugfest. Jerry Koosman and Ken Holtzman in a 1-0 ball game. The Mets have had 3 hits. The Cubs have had 1, and the leadoff batter for the Cubs, the catcher Larry Cox. Koosman's first pitch, a fastball low and inside. Cox has been up 70 times. He's had 17 hits, batting .243. And Koosman's fastball hit to deep center field. Going back is the center fielder Elliot Maddox, and he makes the catch. Maddox playing center field for the first time for the Mets, although he has played a lot of center field. He's an outstanding defensive ball player. I will bring up Ken Holtzman. Ken has batted twice this year. He has not had a base hit. Holtzman, a left-hand pitcher, a right-hand batter. And Kuzman with his first pitch. Holtzman takes the called strike. One strike pitch on the way, and it's down low. Kuzman has struck out 2. He has not walked a batter. And the next pitch is popped up on the first base side. Willie Montañez will put the glove on it, and he makes the one-hand catch in his usual fashion, catching the ball and then flipping it on down. That'll bring up Rodney Scott, who had a smash back to the mound that was knocked down by Kuzman. Kuzman then threw him out at first base. Scott hitting .333. He's had 5 base hits and 15 times up. Scott taking his time to the batter's box, waiting for Holtzman to get back to the bench. Only day game in Major League Baseball. And the first pitch by Kuzman, a changeup swung on the miss, strike 1. Strike the count. And the next pitch to Scott is a curveball, bunted on and bunted foul, strike 2. Cubs are averaging close to 18,000 a game. Their attendance over 100,000 ahead of last year. They have drawn 538,520 paid. And a good crowd here today on batting camp day. The next pitch to Scott is fouled back into the stand. Count stays at strike 2. Cubs have played good ball here at Wrigley Field. They have won 20 of 30, and they have won 14 of their last 17. Again, the 2-strike pitch. And a curveball misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Kuzman's 1-2 pitch. Curveball line to center field, a base hit. So Scott gets his first hit. Cubs have their second of the game, and it brings up Ivan De Jesus. De Jesus hitting .264 with 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Scott, the runner at first base, a threat to steal. He has good running speed. Kuzman throws to first base and chases him back. Scott again quickly off with a good-sized lead, and again a throw to first base and a good play on a bad throw by Montañez, and he saves Kuzman in there. Had to come off the bag to make a leaping catch. Scott's 2 stolen bases this year came against the Mets, and one of them a steal of home. And again, Kuzman the first base. Again, Scott back. Actually, the steal of home was a result of a suicide squeeze play where there was no contact by the batter. Ground ball on the next delivery at Tim Foley. Foley has it, tosses to Flynn covering at second for the force play. And that retires the side. 1 hit, 1 left. And the score at the end of 3, the Mets won, the Cubs nothing. Top of the 4th inning, a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Mets, and for the Mets, Tom Grieve to lead off. Grieve batting for the second time. His first time up, he hit a smash to the shortstop. It was on his left side, and Ivan De Jesus took a run batted in and a base hit away when he made a spectacular pickup. And the first pitch, a deep fly ball to center field. It's way back. It's going. It is gone. Goodbye. Tom Grieve with his second home run of the year, and the Mets lead by a score of 2-0. So Grieve on the first pitch, taking that ball into the bleachers in center field, straightaway center field over the 400-foot mark. And the ball landed about halfway up in the bleacher area that is blocked off with the batter's eye, about 10 rows up. Reeves' other home run came off Rudy May. It was in the 9th inning to tie up a ball game for the Mets. And now John Stearns, the batter. And Stearns tries to bunt his way on and bunts the ball foul. Stearns had the big hit in yesterday's win as he had a 3-run home run in the first inning. Stearns picking up his 6th home run, hitting at .257 this year. That home run given up by Holtzman, only the 3rd that he has given up, but he has not pitched much. Valve had 42 home runs, and the opposition has out-homered the Cubs by 20 home runs this year. And a pitch back, a curveball, a ball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. And Holtzman missing low, the count 2-1. The next pitch he called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And in the first game, the Mets lost 10-9, but had 4 home runs. They've had 6 now in this series. And here's a pitch low. It's ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. First game, Mazzilli had a home run, Henderson a home run, Montañez a home run, and Kranepool a pinch hit 3-run home run. And now ball 4 and Stearns walked. 3rd walk given up by Holtzman brings up Tim Foley. Foley popped up to second his first time up. Cubs have a big 5-game series coming up with the Philadelphia Phillies, and they are looking for some distance from Holtzman in this ball game. And the first pitch to Foley, a called strike at the knees. Dave Roberts was really set up to pitch the 3rd game of the series, but he was switched back to open up against Philadelphia, and Holtzman was put into the rotation. Go to first base, and Stearns back easily. Stearns was thrown out on an attempted steal in the 2nd inning. Only the 3rd time he's been thrown out in 14 tries. Pitch to the plate, high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foley hitting .224. But hitting well over his past 2 weeks. And the breaking ball low and inside, 2-1. In his last 33 times up prior to this ball game, he'd had 11 hits, batting at .333. Two and one. Stearns draws the throw at first base. Runner goes. The pitch is bounced to the shortstop, who has no play at second, with the runner running on the hit-and-run play, and De Jesus throws over to first base to pick up the out there as the Mets get a runner in scoring position.
We will be back on side 2 to continue the game.
now Doug Flynn, the batter. First base is open. The pitcher due up next. One man out. And the Cubs will elect to pitch to the batter. And Flynn pops it up to the shallow center field. Going back is the center fielder. Coming up is the center fielder Mercer. He can't get to it, and it drops in for a base hit. Stearns had to wait to see whether or not it would drop in, and then he moved over to third. Little Texas leaguer in the shallow center field, and Flynn has a base hit. He has now hit in 11 of his last 13 games, and that brings up Jerry Kuzman. Kuzman flied out to left field his first time up. Jerry batting 111 with 4 base hits, has driven in 1 run. Mets leading 2-0 with a run in here in the 4th and threatening with runners at first and third. First pitch to Kuzman, and he takes it low. It's ball 1. Pitch to Kuzman is swung on a miss. Holtzman back with a fastball to count 1 ball, 1 strike. Len McLaughlin is throwing in the bullpen now for the Cubs. So Ken Holtzman trying to hold on here, working with runners at first and third, 1 man out, trailing 2-0. 1-1 count to Kuzman. And Kuzman swings and grounds the next pitch foul. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Hey, if you like sports as much as I do, you know Budweiser goes great with any sport, whether you're a participant or a spectator. Call on the king of beers, WMCA New York.
Ralph Kiner along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy from Wrigley Field in Chicago. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch, the runner goes from first. It's grounded down to the third baseman, but caught in foul territory by Rodney Scott. Cubs have their infield back at short and second looking for the double play, and Joe Torre moving Flynn on that pitch, hoping to stay out of the double play, but the ball pulled foul. So Kuzman returns to the plate. Flynn back to first base, and the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Once again, Holtzman looks in for the signs and gets set to set up. And here's the pitch. It's in the dirt, blocked by Larry Cox. A good play there. And the runners have to hold, and the count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mets leading in the rubber game of this 3-game set by a score of 2-0. Runners at first and third. 1 man out. Top of the 4th inning. And a throw to first base. Flynn back easily. Once again, Holtzman ready, and here's the pitch. Kuzman grounds it in the hole. It's backhanded by Day. Jesus, the throw to second base is in time, but no chance for the double play, and the Mets get another. Scoring from third, John Stearns, and the Mets lead by a score of 3-0. Kuzman gets his second RBI of the year. Flynn making a hard slide into second, and the second baseman, Mick Kelleher, could not get a throw off, although he had no time to make a play at first. That will bring up Lenny Randall. Incidentally, if the infield had been in for a play at the plate, that ball would have gone through for a base hit. Good backhand play in the hole by the shortstop, playing at double play depth. And the first pitch to Randall by the third baseman in the left field, a base hit. Kuzman goes to second base and holds there. So the Mets now with runners at first and second. And the batter coming up is Elliott Maddox. Maddox singled in the first on a hit and run play, walked in the third. Elliott batting .281. Batted over .300 against left-hand pitcher. right-hander Lynn McLaughlin throwing in the bullpen for the Cubs. He has thrown enough to be warm. Holtzman working very slowly. Now is ready, and the pitch to Maddox. Fastball over, called strike. One strike to count to the right-hand batter. And the next pitch, breaking ball over, strike 2 call. Maddox steps out of the batter's box, now gets back in. Kuzman short lead at second base. Behind him, Randall, and the next pitch is a fastball that's popped up in foul territory, but it will be out of play. It's back into the stand. This time last year, the Cubs were leading the National League by 8 games. This year, they are 2 games back of the Phillies. One thing you like to do if you want to beat the Cubs is get out in front, because they have that sensational relief pitcher, Bruce Sutter, who comes in the last 2 innings, and he is really tough to beat if the Cubs are out in front. And there's one down the first base side. It's foul, and it is just foul. Sliced off the hands and just missing being over the bag at first. The call made by first base umpire Eric Gregg, who is stationed right behind the play. Denny Somers, the first base coach for the Mets, saying something that could be, are you sure it didn't cross that bag? So they count again at 2 strikes, and again, Holtzman's pitch to Maddox. And a curveball, strike 3 call. Holtzman gets his second strikeout, and he leaves 2. But the Mets pick up 2 runs on 3 base hits. The score at the end of 3.5 innings, the Mets 3 and the Cubs nothing.
The day is done. Coming home. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. Welcome home. So just say bud. And pour the king of beer and settle back and be yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy chair. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Bottom of the 4th inning, the Mets leading by a score of 3-0. Cubs coming up against Jerry Kuzman, and the first batter will be Bobby Mercer. Mets have 3 runs on 6 hits. The Cubs have no runs and 2 hits. Kuzman helping his own cause by driving in the run with a well-hit ground ball to deep short. Mercer grounded out his first time up, hitting .245 for the year with 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Mercer coming to the Cubs from the Yankees for Bobby Bonds. And the left-hand batter sees his first pitch, and it's hit in the air to shallow left field. A long run for Henderson. He puts the glasses down, gets near the foul line, and makes the catch. And so Mercer flies out on 1 pitch. Bobby last year hit .265 with 27 home runs and 89 RBIs, so he is really off in his home run and runs batted in production. That brings up Dave Kingman. struck out on a curveball his first time up. Dave trying to hit every pitch to right field. And he tries it again and bounces it right back to Kuzman. Kuzman takes it on one hop, throws to first base. So Kuzman picking up 2 outs on 2 pitches. So 2 men away here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Gene Klein's the next batter. Klein's lined out to left field his first time up. He's a former Met. Couldn't get it going against the Mets last year with the Cubs. He batted .293 with just 3 home runs and 41 RBIs in 101 games. Klein's at one time the property of the Pittsburgh Pirates. This year he's hitting .271, no home runs, 9 RBIs. And the pitch. Klein takes it low and inside. A fastball by Kuzman. 1 ball, no strikes. And Kuzman's next pitch is lined into right center, a base hit. Over to field it is Elliott Maddox, and Klein stops at first base as Maddox gets to it and gets it back in. A 2-out base hit by Klein. Cubs now have 3 base hits. They've all come with 2 men out. That is when you're going well. First hit was by Larry Bittner, who is now the batter. He singled to left field with 2 men out. With 2 men out in the 3rd, Rodney Scott singled to center field. And now Klein's has singled to right center with 2 men away. And the first pitch by Kuzman is low, ball 1. Kuzman's next pitch, a changeup curve hit by the first baseman. A base hit to right field. Tom Greaves comes in to field it, tosses it into Foley, and the Cubs have runners at first and third as Klein crosses over on the single by Bittner. So the Cubs, for the first time in the game, have a runner in scoring position, and the batter coming up to second baseman Mick Kelleher. Grounded into a force play his first time up. Right-hand batter hitting .190. Bittner hitting .276. And the Cub crowd here anticipating the rally. The Mets are going to put an appeal play on. Foley over standing on at second, waiting for Kuzman to toss the ball to him. Kuzman sets up, backs off the pitching rubber, throws to second. They're looking for the fact that Klein did not touch second base, rounding on his way to third. But the umpire at second base, Billy Williams, said he did touch the bag, and so the appeal does not work. Once again, Kuzman sets up, and the pitch. Kelleher pops it up into shallow right field. Tom Greaves is there. He gets under it, and he makes the catch. And the side is retired as the Cubs leave 2 on 2 base hits. And the score at the end of 4 is Lindsey Nelson comes back in for the play-by-play. The Mets 3, the Cubs nothing.
Of all imported pickup trucks, guess which one is numero uno? You guessed it, Datsun. Small pickups. Datsun invented them. Datsun perfected them. Number 1 for 19 straight years. The Datsun Stretch with an enormous bed over 7 feet long. The Datsun King Cab, only pickup with reclining bucket seats and up to 11 cubic feet of storage space inside the cab. The Datsun Pickups, number 1 for 19 years. Why? We work at it as hard as our trucks. We are driven. See and drive America's number 1 pickups at your Datsun dealer.
We'll be going now to the 5th inning. The Mets are out in front by a score of 3-0, and it'll be Steve Henderson coming up to lead it off. Ken Holtzman started. He has been in all the way since coming to the Cubs from the New York Yankees. Holtzman has gone 0-2. Henderson grounded out to drive in a run in the first inning, and he had a base hit in the third inning. He is 1 for 2. The overcast has been coming and going here at Wrigley Field this afternoon. Right now it's about half and half. There's a breaking pitch, low for a ball. It is not brilliantly sunshiny, nor is it overly overcast. This will be a 1-0 pitch to the right-hand batter, and it's a fastball, broken bat ground ball, base hit up the middle, going through into center field. Hustled up by Bobby Mercer, overrun for a step, and now holding it first is Henderson, who made a lunge as though he would try to stretch it. There's his second hit of the day, a leadoff single, and Willie Montanez is coming up. Grounded out, flied out, and he is 0 for 2. Montanez, the left-hand batter, facing the left-hand pitcher, Ken Holtzman, and we're getting a little action stirred up down in the bullpen area of the Chicago Cubs. Is that Lynn McLaughlin? That's who it is, Lynn McLaughlin. Getting up and moving around. The pitch is in there for a called strike at the knees. It's 0-1 now for Willie Montanez. Henderson takes the lead at first. Bittner holds against him there. Curveball swung on it on the ground foul back of first, down in front of the bullpen, where it's retrieved by Nino Espinosa. 0-2 the count to Montanez. McLaughlin is up and throwing in the bullpen for Chicago. Tom Grieve is on deck for the New York Mets. Mets have had 7 hits so far. They're leading in the game by a score of 3-0. Holtzman throws to first, not in time. Natural grass in the dirt infield here at Venerable Wrigley Field. No artificial turf here. Here's the 0-2 curveball, foul up to the bullpen area again, and it caroms off the low brick wall out into right field, where it will be retrieved by Gene Klein. He tosses it back over to the bullpen area, where it scatters a few Mets, including Craig Swan and Espinosa. To the business at hand, it's 0-2 to Montanez. Holtzman delivers, and it's low for a ball, 1-2. They're set up with center fielder Bobby Mercer shaded slightly toward left against Montanez, figuring he won't pull Kenny Holtzman, the left-hander. Here's a 1-2. Swung on it on the ground to second base. Taken by Kelleher. He goes over to the Jesus, who can't hold it. All hands are safe. Runners at first and second. De Jesus was coming off inside to try to complete a double play and did not get the baseball. And that will bring up Tom Grieve. So the Mets have runners first and second, nobody out. And here comes manager Herman Franks to the mound, looking to the bullpen. That's all for Holtzman. That's all. He's going to the right-hander right now. He wants Lynn McLaughlin to pitch to the power hitter Tom Grieve, who homered last time up. Stein went to the bullpen before Herman Franks got to the mound. Official score says make that last play an error on the shortstop for failing to hold on to the ball and give the second baseman an assist. That means that in the opinion of the official scorer, that the shortstop should have been able to make the play, come across the second, and get it on to first base. Whether or not he would have made any play there is problematical. McLaughlin is making his 13th appearance all in relief. He won one game, the first one of this series, the 10-9 game. He worked 1 2/3, and he gave up 2 runs on 2 hits, but fortunately he was in the game, the inning in which the Cubs took the lead. That was the 5th when they got 6, and he got the win. Traded to the Cubs for Hector Cruz on June 15th from the Giants. So Holtzman has come out of the ball game after having pitched 4 innings and faced 2 men here in the 5th. Charged with 3 runs on 7 hits. He struck out 2 and he walked 2. And Len McLaughlin has replaced him. Big right-hander. One time with the Boston Red Sox, St. Louis Cardinals, San Francisco Giants. And he'll be facing right-hand batter Tom Grieve. This is the only afternoon action going in the major leagues. So enough scores to pass along. Jonathan will take his required 8 pitches, which he has just completed. He'll get checked out with Larry Cox on side. Rodney Scott, the third baseman, comes over for a social call, and we'll be set to proceed. Runner at second base is Steve Henderson. The runner at first base is Willie Montañez. Mets lead 3-0. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. Right after this game, the Mets will be flying on to Pittsburgh, where they'll take on the Pirates in a 4-game series that will be concluded on Sunday afternoon, after which the Mets come home. And that, of course, is part of the long holiday weekend that extends right through Tuesday when the Mets play Twilight doubleheader. It's Shea. Here's a swing and a miss. It's strike 1 to Tom Grieve. Grieve homered in the 4th inning. He hit the ball about halfway up on the green batter's eye out there in center field, which used to be the home of the White Shirts here at Wrigley Field many years ago. Jonathan sets and deals. Swung on it on the ground to third base. Scott takes it, touched the bag for one. Throw to first is high. Safe at first base. Bittner went up to get the ball, but was off the bag when Grieve went across to their runners first and second. And it's simply a force play to third base unassisted. Double play is not assumed. There is no error charge. Put out to third baseman Rodney Scott, and coming up is John Stearns. One away. Stearns has had a base hit, a walk. He scored a run. Bats right against the right-hander Lynn McLaughlin. Curveball, and it's low. 1-0. Tim Foley has moved up on deck. The Mets are trying to get something else on the scoreboard here in the top of the 5th inning. Mets have won 32 games and they've lost 43. Trailed the Phillies, who lead in the Eastern Division by 9 games. Bernie goes at second, swinging a drive into right center field. Base hit coming home is Montañez, and Grieve goes to second and holds there. On at first is John Stearns, who fortunately had the second baseman, Mick Kelleher, moving to the bag to take a possible throw. He tried to change directions and come back as the line drive went by him out into right center field, and scoring on the play was Willie Montañez. Their runners at first and second. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-0. Tim Foley's coming up. The runner started. Stearns lined it to the right side, and the second baseman had gone to cover, and he tried to get back and couldn't. Foley's up. Right-hand batter waits for a pitch that's low. Tom Grieve is the runner at second base, and John Stearns the runner at first base, with 1 away for the Mets batting here in the top of the 5th inning. Foley's gone 0 for 2 so far today. That's low also, so now McLaughlin's gone behind. 2-0. Doug Flynn is on deck. Foley looks at sign man Dow Maxwell. See if they're going to put anything on here. Here's the 2-0. Swung on the ground to third. Rodney Scott goes to the bag now. He'll try to complete the double play, and this time he does. 5-3 double play, retires the side. So the Mets got a run on 2 hits, and they left one. And in the middle of the 5th inning, the score is the Mets 4 and the Cubs nothing.
There are many bumps along the road of life, but you don't have to feel them in your car. Right now, Anthony's Auto Body and Car Care Center in Bridgeport is holding Red Carpet Days. Anthony's will assist you in selecting the right Big D shock absorbers to fit your vehicle's needs. Big D shocks offer 59% more capacity than their previous line. Get Big D shocks for a red carpet ride during Delco Red Carpet Days. See Anthony's at Anthony Auto Body and Car Care Center, 135 Mile Street, corner of Stratford Avenue in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Call 384-0001.
If you're taking your pet with you on your vacation this summer, you'll need a lot of advance information. For the free booklet, Traveling with Pets, write to Consumer Information, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
We're going now to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Larry Cox is coming up to lead it off. Cox McLaughlin and Scott are the scheduled batters for the Cubs, facing Gary Kuzman.
4 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 home run.
Kuzman has struck out 2, walked none so far here this afternoon. Came in with a record of 2 wins and 8 losses. Good crowd at Wrigley Field this afternoon. It's Cap Day, and we have thousands of youngsters in the ballpark. Cub fans are not bashful about declaring their allegiance at the top of their voices. Cox has been up one time, and he flied to center. Kuzman's fastball hit off the end of the bat. Ground ball to second. Charged by Flynn. Up and throwing in time. Got him. 1 away, and that will bring up Lynn McLaughlin, who will bat for himself. He's a pretty good hitter. Takes a good cut at the plate. Lynn McLaughlin. He'll be followed by Rodney Scott. Nobody on base. Mets leading by a score of 4-0. McLaughlin bats left. Looks down to Joey Malfitana, the coach at third, who's running through a set of signs for him. Here's left-hander Kuzman with the pitch. Fastball, and it's in there for a called strike. 0-1. And the 0-1 delivery. The curveball that is fouled over toward the dugout. And into the Met dugout, out of play. 2-strike count to Lynn McLaughlin. Nice back end. Curveball over the top of his head. That got away from Kuzman. It sailed on him and was right over the top of Lynn McLaughlin's head. He staggers out of the batter's box. Now he comes back. Here's the 1-2. Curveball, and it's popped up. Back of second. Foley's going out calling. Tim Foley on the outfield grass makes the catch. 2 Cubs are out in the 5th inning, and Rodney Scott's coming up. He's 1 for 2. Rodney Scott is a switch hitter. Right now he's hitting .375 in few appearances since being brought up. Rodney Scott is showing some signs, if his credentials so warrant, of becoming at least a little bit of a hot dog. Switch hitter, batting right. Here's Kuzman into the motion, and the pitch is low and inside. He moved up as though to bunt. It's ball 1. Walks around behind the umpire, Bruce Fromming, and the catcher, and coming back around to the right-hand side of the plate. Windmills the bat, cocks it, and here's Kuzman's pitch. Fastball, it's in there. He shortened up again. Took the pitch, but this one was in the strike zone, so it's 1-1. The Mets are leading 4-0, and the Cubs are batting here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Kuzman delivers, swung on and line. Foul up the left field line to the Cub bullpen this time with a carom. Out to left fielder Steve Henderson. Rodney Scott digging in once again at the plate. Kuzman's gone ahead of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kicks and fires, and it's high and away. Starting to go, laid off. And the count's evened out now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and fouled off. Back and out of play. Count holds at 2-2. Bruce Fromming calls time. Comes around to brush off the plate in a perfunctory manner. 2 men out. Nobody on an account of 2-2 to Rodney Scott. Here's Kuzman into the motion. And he has a check swing line drive to second. Doug Flynn has it for the putout that retires the side. Nothing across at the end of 5. The score is the Mets 4 and the Cubs nothing.
How would you like to be the guest of Derry Lee and see the New York Mets in action right here at Shea Stadium? Well, sure you would, and it's easy. Just save the coupons printed on Derry Lee or Derry Lean milk containers. The average family could save enough coupons in 1 week to get one free ticket. You have your choice of 20 games during the season. There's one on every day of the week, day or night. So regardless of the hours that you might work, you can come to the Mets free on Derry Lee. All the exciting details are printed on the side panel of the milk containers, and they're on sale in the dairy case of your favorite food store. So why don't you start drinking Derry Lee or Derry Lean milk today? And be sure that you save those coupons, and then come on out and see a New York Mets game absolutely free. When you get here, we'll be glad to see you.
We'll be going now to the 6th inning. But first we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Say, the next time you're planning a picnic, don't forget to fill the cooler with ice-cold Budweiser. There's the perfect time to call on the king of beers, WMCA New York.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at Wrigley Field in Chicago, and Doug Flynn is coming up to lead it off for the Mets here in the top of the 6th inning. He is 1 for 2 this afternoon. Hit safely in 11 of his last 13 games. He is hitting .243 for the year, and he's a right-hand batter. Facing right-hand pitcher, Len McLaughlin, who's getting a sign, rocks into the motion, the big right-hander deals, and it's in there for a called strike. Jerry Kuzman is next in the Mets batting order. Mets are leading at 4-0. Third game of a 3-game series. Mets won yesterday, and Cubs won in a marathon 10-9 the day before. Swinging a ground ball to short. Ivan de Jesus up and throwing in time. One away, and Jerry Kuzman will be the batter. Fly to left and grounded into a force play 0 for 2. Kuzman's in a conversation with Bruce Fromming, just a casual conversation as he steps in. Len McLaughlin delivers. Swing and a miss. Actually, it was a check swing, but it's strike 1 to Jerry Kuzman. Outfield defense is almost straight away and shortened up on Kuzman. Swinging a foul ball. It's backing out to play a 2-strike count. This will be an 0-2 delivery. And it's on the way. Curveball right in there for a called strike 3 on 3 pitches. McLaughlin gets Kuzman for the second out. 2 away, and Lenny Randall is coming up. He walked. He fouled out. He had a base hit, 1 for 2. Randall is a switch hitter, and he'll turn around bat left-handed now against Len McLaughlin. Nobody on base. 2 away. Cox flashes the sign. McLaughlin deals the pitch. Fastball inside low. It's 1-0. They play Randall to go to the opposite field. They've got Mercer around toward left. Again, the pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Randall has stepped out, takes a couple of practice swings, and now comes back into the batter's box. Here's the 1-1. Curveball, and it is bunted up the third base line. A foul ball. Gloved in foul territory by Rodney Scott. That will bring Randall back. He crossed the bag at first base. He has a count now of 1-2. Randall eases back into the batter's box. Tomorrow night night, the Mets will be at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1-2 pitches high and away. It's 2-2. Craig Swan will open up that series for the Mets against Bert Blyleven, the curveballer of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's 2-2. Swung on and foul back. It's out of play. Mets will be there Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. And there will be 4 different starting times for the 4 games. Two and two, the count to Randall. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the left side. Pittsburgh Pirate attendance has not been good this year at Three Rivers. Could be that people don't know exactly when to go. 2 men out, nobody on base. And here is the 2-2. Swung on and pops up foul, coming back off the screen and out of play. Now it remains 2-2. Randall's back in. And the delivery. Swung on and missed. McLaughlin struck him out. 2 strikeouts for the Cub right-hander in the inning. Nothing across. Middle of the 6th. The scores. The Mets 4 and the Cubs nothing.
It's County Federal's great 1978 Gift for Thrift Jubilee. And it's your chance to get great gifts for new deposits at County Federal's offices in Rockville Center and in Queens. 40 superb gifts to choose from. Kodak cameras and GE radios, blankets and tote bags, and lots more. And you get your choice free with a qualifying deposit. 1 gift to a depositor while they last, and minimum deposit must remain in your account 14 months. Win a 12-inch black and white portable TV free, no deposit necessary. Just fill out an entry blank at your nearest participating branch. In Rockville Center, 53 North Park Avenue, or 666 Sunrise Highway. In Astoria, at 3027 Steinway Street, or at 7521 Main Street in Kew Garden Hills. There'll be a drawing every week at each of the 4 branches. Every account at County Federal is insured by an agency of the U.S. government up to the legal limit. Make a qualifying deposit now. Get a free gift only at County Federal's offices in Rockville Center, Astoria, and Kew Gardens Hills.
We'll be going now to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Ivan De Jesus will lead it off for the Cubs. He's gone 0 for 2. He's a right-hand batter facing net left-handed Jerry Kuzman. Kuzman struck out 2, and he's walked none. Into the motion, kicks and fires, slow curveball low, and it's 1-0 to Ivan De Jesus, who will be followed by Bobby Mercer. Lenny Randall has moved up to the cutout of the grass at third, fastball low. Kuzman goes behind 2-0. Cub fans have started to chant of "We want a hit." Kuzman offers 2-0. Down the pipe, called strike. It's 2-1. Mets got a run into first. They got 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th to lead here by a score of 4-0. Swinging a high pop to the right side. Short right field, and coming up is Grieve, and Tom Grieve can't see it. He lost it in the sun, plays it back in now, and it's a double. He could not pick it out of the sun. Tom Grieve had it lined up and then shied away, trying to shade his eyes, and the ball fell a couple of feet away from him for a double for Ivan De Jesus. He could not see it for the glare. There is a slight overcast here at the moment, but nonetheless, that ball got up into the glare that Grieve could not handle. Bobby Mercer is coming up. He's gone 0 for 2. He's a left-hand batter. A break for the Chicago Cubs. Fastball, and it's low. It's 1-0. They play Mercer to pull the ball. He's a threat to hit the long ball at any time. Guzman delivers a curveball that he swung on and fouled off. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bobby Mercer. Mercer was a one-time Yankee center fielder who was moved to right field. And center field was taken over on that Yankee team by a fellow named Elliot Maddox, who moved Mercer out of center field. Elliot Maddox today is playing center field for the Mets for the first time. Fastball, and it's back off the shins of Kuzman. Over to Montañez, but nobody covers. He overruns the ball. Kuzman retrieves. No play. Runners at first and third. The base hit for Mercer off the shins of Jerry Kuzman. It ricocheted over toward Montañez, who went for it and overran it. Kuzman finally retrieved it, but there was no play. Nobody covering first, of course. Ivan de Jesus moves to third. So now, on 2 unusual plays, the Cubs have runners at first and third, and Dave Kingman's coming up. Kingman has struck out and grounded out pitcher to first. But Kuzman's work is cut out here now. In the bottom of the 6th inning with the Mets leading 4-0. Pitch is inside low for a ball. It's 1-0. Ivan de Jesus, the runner at third. Bobby Mercer, the runner at first. Kuzman now off the stretch. Curveball hit deep to right field, and Grieve is moving over, and he's got it. Tagged at third, coming down the line to Jesus. He scores. The throw goes to second. Mercer holds at first. Sacrifice fly and a run batted in. Kingman took the ball to right field, and the score is the Mets 4 and the Cubs 1. 1 away. That will bring up Gene Clines, or perhaps a pinch hitter for the... No, Clines is there. Clines is coming up. He is lined to left and had a base hit, 1 for 2. Larry Bittner has come out on deck. Overly close stance at the plate. Kuzman sets up. Pitch is swung on and fouled off. It's strike 1. Clines again steps back into the batter's box. Mercer takes his lead at first base. Kuzman delivers, and there's a swing and a foul ball off to the right side. Out of play, and it's a 2-strike count to Gene Clines. Kuzman again now sets up off the stretch. Delivers a pitch that's low, dug out of there by John Stearns with a big thrust to the glove. 1-2 is the count to Clines. Mets 4, Cubs 1. Mercer leads at first base, 1 away. Gets a swing and a ground ball, foul back of third, out of play down the line, and it's still 1-2 to Gene Clines at the plate. Kuzman has struck out 2, walked none. Clines back in. Kuzman delivers, and here's a swing and a ground ball. It could be a double play. It's over to Foley from Flynn and on to first, the double play. 4-6-3 started by Doug Flynn. Over to Foley and on to first base to Willie Montañez. So the side is retired as the Chicago Cubs got a run on 2 hits. They left none. Bob Murphy will be along for the play-by-play in just a moment. Right now at the end of 6, the score is the Mets 4 and the Cubs 1.
Filler with Getty unleaded regular, please.
Hey, Clarice, you see that guy getting gas across the island?
You know who that is?
No, Lester.
That guy is Jackie Stewart.
Do you realize he's won 3 world driving championships? Hey, Jackie, what you doing here?
Buying gasoline.
You use Getty, too? Hey, Clarice, Jackie Stewart uses the same gasoline as Lester J. Boyle.
Well, you're in the big time now, Lester.
Hey, Jack, do you know something about Getty us regular everyday drivers don't know?
I know Getty unleaded regular burns clean like an unleaded.
I knew that.
But it's got the power of a regular gasoline.
Well, I knew that.
And it costs a few cents less than most other major unleaded.
Is that important to great racing drivers?
To great Scottish racing drivers, it is.
Getty unleaded regular. More power for less money.
Seventh inning at Wrigley Field. New York leading the Cubs by a score of 4-1. Lynn McLaughlin pitching in back of starting pitcher Kenny Holtzman. McLaughlin now has worked 2 innings in relief. He worked 3 yesterday and an inning and 2/3 in the first game of the series. So Herman Franks now has Willie Hernandez start to warm up in the Cub bullpen. Cubs have not seen Hernandez this series, and he's about the only member of the relief corps they haven't seen. Elliot Maddox facing Lynn McLaughlin. And a strike call to the inside corner. McLaughlin got very little work with the Giants this year, but he's getting a lot of work with the Chicago Cubs. Veteran right-hander who still throws pretty hard. Now the windup. Here's the pitch on the way. And Elliott has to jackknife away from the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Elliott Maddox, Steve Henderson, and Willie Montañez come to bat here in the 7th. And a ground ball bounced toward short. Big hop for De Jesus to throw to first, 1 down. 1 man away in the top of the 7th inning. Now Steve Henderson coming up. And Steve has 2 for 3 and a run batted in. Steve now batting .262. 2 RBIs yesterday and 1 today, raising his total to 41 on the year. And he now is gaining on Willie Montañez. One out and nobody on. The infield deep against Steve Henderson and a step to left. The outfield shaded around to left. And a fastball under the knees. 1 ball and no strikes. Joel Youngblood warming his arm up. He may come in to play right field. Now Lynn McLaughlin checking it out with Larry Cox. Here's the pitch on the way. Inside and low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Mets will not be in Chicago again until the very last weekend of the baseball season. They play their final 3 games of the year right here at Wrigley Field. Now McLaughlin into his windup. The 2-0 delivery. A foul. Back on the screen. No play. 2-1. The New York Mets have 4 runs on 8 base hits. Jerry Koosman deserves to be working on a shutout, but the ball hit by De Jesus, lost in the sun, fell for a double, and as a result, the Cubs got on the scoreboard. The run will be classified as an earned run. The 2-1 delivery, swing and a miss. Hard swing at a high fastball, and the count 2-2 to Steve Henderson. Mets hit 4 home runs in the first game of the series and lost it 10-9. They had one yesterday, a 3-run homer by John Stearns, and they have a home run in today's game by Tom Grieve. So the Mets have hit 6 in the 3-game series. Henderson has one of the 6. The 2-2 delivery, fouled, back upstairs, no play. Thousands of school-age youngsters are in the upper deck today. Center field bleachers almost always sold out at Wrigley Field. The bleachers a very favorite place to be at Wrigley Field. And they have the famous bleacher box. The play that has recently moved from off Broadway uptown in Manhattan originated right here in Chicago. came about as a result of the bleacher bump. Now the 2-2 delivery, foul ball back upstairs. Playwright would sit in the crowd with the bleacher bums and papery conversations. Now Dave Geisel is up in the Chicago Cub bullpen, replacing Willie Hernandez. Count is 2-2 to Steve Henderson with one out and nobody on in the seventh. If a member of the visiting team hits a home run into the left field bleachers where the bleacher bums are sitting, they will throw the ball back. They don't want to keep it. If the Cubs hit one up there, of course, it's a valuable souvenir to them. They're affectionately known as the bleacher bums. Henderson waiting on the 2-2 delivery, and a ground ball bounced to second. Big hop fielded by Mick Kelleher over to Bittner, 2 down. 2 outs and nobody on. Here is Willie Montañez. Willie is 0 for 3 in the ball game today. Willie had 2 for 5 in the victory yesterday. Mets lead 4-1. We're in the top of the seventh at Wrigley Field. Now Lynn McLaughlin winding. Here's the pitch on the way, and a strike call. McLaughlin had 3 perfect innings in relief in yesterday's game. He almost has 3 innings in here today without giving up a run. And outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Since McLaughlin came in, he's allowed just 1 hit. A single to right center by John Stearns that drove in a run. The run was charged to the starting pitcher, Kenny Holtzman. Ground ball hit toward the middle to his left. De Jesus, he's up with it. And the throw is in time to retire the side. So a strong inning for Lynn McLaughlin. No runs, no hits, none left. In the middle of the seventh, as the Cub fans get up for the seventh inning stretch, the New York Mets 4 and the... Bittner facing Jerry Koosman in the last of the seventh. Bittner has 2 for 2. He has single to left and single to right. And a fastball under the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. Mick Kelleher, the on-deck batter, and then Larry Cox. Beyond that, the pitcher would be coming up. And a foul behind third and back up into the crowd, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch on the way, and a drive into short center. A base hit. Bittner has 3 for 3. Left-hand hitter Larry Bittner having a much better day than the right-hand batters. He now is 3 for 3. And it brings up Mick Kelleher. Mick Kelleher, the second baseman, is 0 for 2. Now the sign goes to the Mets bullpen, and Skip Lockwood will start warming up. That was Bittner's 3rd hit and the 7th in the game for Chicago. Mets lead 4-1. Cubs attacking here in the last of the 7th. And a fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Larry Cox, the on-deck batter. Dave Geisel in the bullpen for Chicago. Now the pitch on the way. Wide, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Jerry Koosman has not walked the batter. He has struck out 2. 2-0 delivery. Down the middle, he was taking, and the count is 2-1.
Mets have the infield at double play depth at second and short. Mets turn to double play in the 6th inning. They are still averaging better than a double play per game. 2-1 delivery. Ball 3, 3-1. Very important pitch right here for Jerry Koosman. He does not want to walk Mick Kelleher. 3-1 delivery. Ball 4. So the light-hitting Mick Kelleher has reached on a walk. And now the Cubs have runners on first and second, nobody out. Rube Walker will pay a visit to the mound. And Lockwood will start throwing hard in the Mets bullpen. Joe Amalfitano coaching third for Herman Franks. Wants the batter Larry Cox to come down and talk to him. 4-1 the score. The Mets lead, and now the Cubs have a threat. Runners on first and second, and nobody out. And now Larry Cox is being called back to the dugout. And Manny Trio is going to pinch hit. Regular second baseman Manny Trio has been sidelined with a knee injury. He is about ready to return to the lineup. And now he will be a pinch hitter. Trio batting .254, 2 homers, and 26 runs batted in. Trio, a big favorite with Cub fans. Jerry Koosman suddenly running into trouble. Now Joel Youngblood is coming on the field. Youngblood will go to center field. I believe Grieve will come out and Maddox will go to right. So Youngblood will go to center field. Maddox will move to right, and Tom Grieve will come out of the game. Now we're ready to go. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Pinch hitter Manny Trio standing in. Jerry Koosman checking things out with John Stearns. Here's the pitch on the way. And the fastball misses, ball 1. Koosman had not walked the batter until he walked Mick Kelleher. Let's have the infield looking for 2. Koosman delivers. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. And Jerry may be getting arm weary. Lockwood getting ready in the pen. Then McLaughlin is scheduled to hit next. The 2-0 delivery. Ball 3, 3-0. And a walk to Manny Trio. The Cubs would have the tying runs on base. Nobody out. Lockwood standing around now. Apparently, his arm is ready. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch on the way. Strike call, 3-1. Jerry Koosman takes his cap off to wipe his brow. Larry Bittner on second and Mick Kelleher on first. Pitching 3-1. Low, ball 4. The bases are loaded. The tying runs are on base and nobody out. Joe Torre, if he is going to make a move, will not do so until Herman Franks makes a move. I believe we're going to get a pinch runner for Manny Trio. Willie Hernandez will come in the game as a pinch runner. Trio has a bad knee. That's why he hasn't been playing. And we're playing a waiting game right here. Now Mike Vail is coming out of the dugout. Mike Vail, the former Met, will be the pinch hitter for Lynn McLaughlin. Willie Hernandez, left-hand relief pitcher in the game, as a pinch runner, running for Manny Trio. Bases loaded, nobody out. Mike Vail will be the pinch hitter. Now here comes Joe Torre. Torre was waiting for the PA announcement. Until that PA announcement is made, the player is not officially in the ballgame. Mike Vail has been to bat 6 times since coming to the Cubs and has 1 for 6. Koosman will come out of the game, and Skip Lockwood will come in. He comes in with the bases loaded and nobody out. New York leading 4-1. Right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WMCA, Strauss Communications in New York. 57 on your AM dial. The radio home of the New York Mets.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. Cub fans getting their moment right now. Cubs have the bases loaded. And nobody out. And now Steve Ontiveros will bat for Mike Vail. Ontiveros has an injured left shoulder. He is a switch hitter. It does not bother him at all to hit left-handed. It does bother him to hit right-handed. And with Koosman started, he stays out of the game. And now with a right-hander in the ball game, he'll be the pinch hitter. So Jerry leaves the game after working 6 innings. At the moment, he has allowed 1 run and 7 hits. Walked 2 and struck out 2. For Skip Lockwood, his 34th relief assignment. Skip has won 7, lost 5, and has 8 saves. And we're waiting now while Lockwood throws in his 8 warm-ups. Steve Ontiveros will be hitting left-handed against Skip Lockwood with the bases loaded and nobody out. Behind Ontiveros, it's Rodney Scott and then Ivan De Jesus. Koosman just very suddenly became arm-weary. Gave up a base hit to Larry Bittner. He had not walked a batter in the game, but suddenly he became arm-weary and he walked 2 in a row. 24,278. Paid crowd today, a good crowd of 24,278. Now we are ready to go. Larry Bittner is on third, Mick Kelleher on second. Willie Hernandez, a pinch runner, is on first. Nobody out, and the batter is Steve Ontiveros. Switch hitter, batting left. He is the Cubs' regular third baseman. Lockwood will work from the stretch. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball, strike 1 call. Lockwood walking into a bases-loaded jam. The pitch to Ontiveros. And a drive hit down the right field line. An extra base hit. 3 runs may score. Maddox chasing the ball all the way back to the wall. Hernandez falls down around third and has to stop there. 2 runs score, and it's 4-3. Ontiveros Ontiveros hit a drive deep down the right field line and into the corner. The game would have been tied up, but Willie Hernandez fell down twice. He's a pitcher who was put in the game as a pinch runner. He fell down before he got to third, and he fell down coming around third. So score that, a double for Ontiveros. 2 runs batted in. And now the Cubs have the tying run on third, the leading run on second. The batter is Rodney Scott. Inside and low, ball 1. And now Bruce Sutter goes to work in the bullpen. The Cubs get the lead. They'll bring Sutter right in. Lockwood delivers. Low inside, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Runners on second and third, nobody out. Ball 3, inside and low. So Lockwood gave up a double to Ontiveros, driving 2 runs in. Mets got a break when Hernandez fell down. And now he is behind on Rodney Scott, 3-0. 3-0 delivery, a strike call, 3-1. Dale Murray will get up in the bullpen along with Paul Siebert for New York. Lockwood with a count of 3-1. Lockwood working from the stretch and the pitch on the way. Ball 4. Bases loaded. Lockwood has walked leadoff batter Rodney Scott. 4-3. The Mets leading by only 1. The bases are loaded and still nobody out. Now the hitter is Ivan De Jesus. The Mets will have the infield in at first and third. Double play depth at second and short. Lockwood working from the stretch. And a foul back on the screen, strike 1. Bruce Sutter is warming up in the Cub bullpen. Bobby Mercer on deck, and then Dave Kingman. Now Lockwood set, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Lockwood with a 2-strike count on Ivan De Jesus. Willie Hernandez is on third. And the pitch on the way. Curve missing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hernandez on third, Ontiveros on second, and Scott is on first. The infield, a double play depth at second and short. Pitching 1 and 2. And a smash to short, base hit going into left field. Hernandez scores. Ontiveros stops at third. Tie game. Game tied up and still nobody out. Now Rube Walker is coming out to the mound. Bobby Mercer will be coming up with the bases loaded, nobody out. Game tied at 4-all. Runners now on base are the responsibility of Skip Lockwood. Lockwood has faced 3 batters, given up a walk, a double, and a single. So they're holding a meeting on the mound right now. Lockwood got out in front on De Jesus. But De Jesus hung in there and got a base hit on a low liner just beyond the reach of shortstop Tim Foley. Now the Mets are going to bring the infield in against Bobby Mercer. Ontiveros, the lead runner on third. The bases loaded, nobody out. Here's the pitch. And a high pop fly to the infield. Then Randall in front of the mound grabs it for the out. So Mercer is out on an infield pop fly. It brings up Kingman. And right here, Lockwood very much in need of a strikeout. Kingman in today's game is 0 for 2. He drove in a run with a line drive to right field that was caught in the 6th inning. Ontiveros on third. Rodney Scott is on second. De Jesus is on first. Now the infield is a double play depth. Here's the stretch and the pitch. And a high fly ball to deep center field. It will give the Cubs the lead. Youngblood is under it. He makes the catch. And Ontiveros is coming home to score. Throw to third, not in time. The Cubs are in front 5-4. Chicago has the lead now, 5-4 in the last of the 7th inning. That run will be charged to Skip Lockwood. Now Greg Gross will be a pinch hitter for Gene Climbs. Gross is the center fielder when a right-hander starts for Chicago. So Jerry Koosman, who has been so luckless this year, left the game with a score of 4-1. The pitcher of record at the moment is Skip Lockwood, but Koosman cannot be a winning pitcher. It looked like this was going to be the day for Jerry to break a 5-game losing streak, but it was a day the bullpen could not hold it for him. Cubs now are in front 5-4. They have scored 4 runs on 3 hits, aided by 3 walks. They have Rodney Scott on third, Ivan De Jesus on second, 2 down. And Greg Gross is coming up to bat for Gene Climbs. Gross hitting .280. Lockwood using the full windup, and the pitch outside, ball 1. Mets led 4-1 coming into the last of the 7th, but the hometown Cubs have come from behind and they have a 5-4 lead. Lockwood delivers, curve low, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Greg Gross is the 9th man to bat of the 7th inning for Chicago. The 2-0 delivery, taken high, ball 3. And a walk would load the bases once again and bring to the plate Larry Bittner. Bittner led off the inning with his 3rd hit of the ball game, a single to center field. .3-0 delivery. Strike called at the knees, 3-1. Greg Gross, left-hand line drive type hitter. Lifetime 300 hitter in the major leagues. Lockwood working very carefully, the 3-1 delivery. He walked it, and the bases are loaded. Second walk by Lockwood. Bases loaded once again. Larry Bittner batting for the 2nd time in the inning. Bittner led off the inning with a single to center. This will be all for Lockwood. Might very well be that Paul Siebert will be coming in now. So this was not a good day for Skip Lockwood as he came in from the bullpen with high hopes of chalking up his 9th save, but instead he was hit hard by the Chicago Cubs. Larry Bittner will be batting for the second time in the inning. Bittner has 3 for 3 in the ballgame. Now is hitting .280. Setting the base runners. Rodney Scott is on third. Ivan De Jesus on second. Greg Gross is on first. Now Siebert has thrown in his 8 warm-ups. And Larry Bittner is batting for the second time in the inning. Bases loaded, 2 men away. 4 have scored. The Cubs lead New York 5-4 in the 7th inning. Kingman has batted in 2 runs. Ontiveros 2 and De Jesus 1. Paul Siebert. Blonde left-hander into his windup, the pitch. Inside, ball 1. The 3 men on base right now are the responsibility of relief pitcher Skip Lockwood. And Siebert around with the arm. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. John Stearns setting up the target. The 1-1 delivery, low and away, 2-1. Cub crowd of 24,278. It's been a beautiful day in Chicago. Best weather of the 3 days. Mets trying to weather a storm here. Now the 2-1 delivery. Swing and a foul ball. 2-2. Paul Siebert with a 2-2 count on Larry Bittner. Now the 2-2 delivery and a pop-up calling for it is Siebert, and he makes the catch. He jammed the hitter, made a beautiful pitch. Ball was popped. Normally a pitcher won't take a pop-up, but that wasn't very high in the air, so Siebert came off the mound toward the line and grabbed it for the out. 4 runs. 3 hits. No errors, 3 left on. Now, at the end of 7, the Cubs have taken the lead. It is 5-4. Well, here are the changes now made by Herman Franks. Dave Rader is now catching. Steve Ontiveros will stay in the lineup and play third. Greg Gross goes to center field. Bobby Mercer moves to right field. And the new pitcher is Bruce Sutter. Sutter has just been remarkable. Bruce Sutter throws an amazing forkball. He doesn't really call it a forkball. He calls it a split-finger fastball. It comes to the plate and just drops straight down. And he has amazing command of the pitch. Joel Youngblood leading off. We go to the 8th inning, 5-4. Fastball a little bit low, ball 1. Dave Rader is behind the plate now. And on the mound, Bruce Sutter. Here's the pitch on the way. Outside low, ball 2. For Bruce Sutter, his 28th appearance, he's won 5 and lost 2. Has an earned run average of 1.43. 45 innings, only 26 hits. He misses inside, ball 3. That's really your best chance with Sutter, is to try and wait him out and not help him out on that forkball. 3-0 delivery, strike call, 3-1. Sutter has 9 saves, a record of 5-2. a 1.43 ERA. 48 strikeouts in 44 and a third innings. 3-1 delivery. Hit hard to shortstop. Fielded by De Jesus. And the long throw is in time for the out. De Jesus was playing Youngblood way over in the hole. And the ground ball was hit right at him. He really knew something. One out and nobody on. John Stearns, the hitter. John has 2 for 2 and a walk. Fastball, a strike call. Skip Lockwood did not have his stuff in today's game, was unable to hold the lead. Now 1 ball and 1 strike to John Stearns. He didn't have his control today. Now the 1-1 delivery. Well hit drive to deep left by John Stearns. Way back. Going. Gone. A home run. John Stearns ties the ball game. John crashing a home run to tie it up. Number 7 for Stearns. He hit one in yesterday's game with 2 men on. He got a hold of a fastball and he ripped it. Ball hit high against the screen behind the left field fence. So John Stearns in today's game has 3 for 3, 2 runs batted in. And now the game is tied at 5-all. Tim Foley, the batter. Foul ball, straight back. Brand new ball game, tied up at 5-5 on the home run by John Stearns, and he hit it off Bruce Sutter. And a ground ball hit deep to shortstop, fielded by De Jesus, and the long throw in time for the out. With Sutter on the mound, De Jesus is playing everybody way over in the hole. Mets have now hit 7 home runs of this 3-game series at Wrigley Field. Just the 3rd home run given up this year by Bruce Sutter. Doug Flynn has 1 for 3, a single to center in the 4th inning. And he bunts it down the third baseline. It's going to roll foul. No play, and Flynn running it out will have to come back. Eddie Cranepool is coming out on deck. He'll bat for Skip Lockwood if Doug Flynn can get on. That's fighting back, tying the game on a home run by Stearns, and we're in the 8th inning. Let's have 5 runs on 9 hits, including 2 home runs. Tom Grieve had homered earlier in the ball game for New York. Sutter delivers, and a line drive base hit to center field for Doug Flynn. Well hit single to center, and now Eddie Cranepool will bat for Lockwood. Dale Murray will get up in the bullpen. I think I said Lockwood, I beg your pardon, batting for Paul Siebert. Siebert came on to relieve Lockwood and get Larry Bittner out for the final out in the last half of the 7th. Dale Murray is warming up now. Cranepool hit a 3-run homer as a pinch hitter in the first game of this series on Monday afternoon. Probably the longest home run he's ever hit. Completely out of Wrigley Field, across the street, and it broke a window in an apartment building over there. Bruce Sutter off the stretch. The pitch to Cranepool and a slow ground ball to first. Bittner boots the ball, picked up by the second baseman, thrown to Sutter in time for the out. Mick Kelleher picking the ball up after it had been booted by Larry Bittner, and Sutter was there to cover, and it's in time for the out. So the play will go 3-4-1. Or the first baseman to the second baseman to the pitcher covering. 1 run, 2 hits, and a man left. In the middle of the 8th inning at Wrigley Field, the Mets 5 and the Cubs 5. Murray now pitching for New York. Leading off for Chicago in the last of the 8th inning, it will be Mick Kelleher. He drew an important walk for the Cubs as they scored. There are 4 runs to go ahead 5-4. Then John Stearns tied the game with a home run. Dave Rader, who took over behind the plate in the top of the 8th inning, is hitting number 8 in the order. He'll bat second. Mick Kelleher leading off. Dale Murray relieved in the opening game of the series. Fastball, strike call. Now the windup. Here's the pitch on the way, and a foul over into the crowd. Dale Murray was hit hard in the opening game of the series. He gave up the grand slam home run to Dave Rader. He was not the losing pitcher in the game. Butch Metzger was the loser. And a bouncer foul down the right field line, no play. Dale Murray making his 34th appearance of the year. He's made some very good ones. Prior to the appearance here on Monday, he beat the Pirates 3-2 with 2 scoreless innings. Now Murray into his windup, and he misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dale has won 3 and lost 3. Right-hand hitter Mick Kelleher fouls the ball back upstairs on a play. Dave Rader waiting on deck. 5-5. We're in the last half of the 8th inning. And the pitch by Dale Murray is too high. It's 2-2. Two-two delivery. Inside high, ball 3. 3-2. Delivery by Dale Murray, and he walked him. Murray walks the leadoff batter, and we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WMCA, Strauss Communications in New York. 57 on your AM dial. The radio home of the New York Mets.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. We are in the last of the 8th inning. The game is tied at 5-5. Dave Rader will be hitting for the first time in the ballgame. Rader is batting 8th. Steve Ontiveros is batting 9th. He was a pinch hitter, doubled in 2 runs, stayed in the ballgame. Bruce Sutter is sitting in the leadoff position. Mike Krukow, who's just been called up from Wichita, is now warming up in the Cub bullpen. So Dale Murray on 3-2 walked Mick Kelleher. Cubs have the tiebreaker on first and nobody out. Left-hand hitter Dave Rader at the plate, and Murray steps off. Lenny Randall in close at third, playing for the sacrifice. And a hard throw to first by Dale Murray. Left-hand batter Dave Rader waiting. Full swing at a foul tip. It hit Stearns on the foot. So Herman Franks had the batter Rader swinging away, and he fouled it into the dirt. Cubs 5 runs on 9 hits. The Mets 5 runs on 10 hits. And a hard throw by Dale Murray to Willie Montañez, driving the runner back. One strike count to the hitter, Dave Rader. Dale Murray ready. And a fly ball, well hit to left center field. Running back, Youngblood, way back by the wall. Can't get it. Extra base hit. Bouncing against the wall. Racing around third is Kelleher. He'll hold up. Runners on second and third, and nobody out. Looked just for a moment as though Kelleher might try to score. But Doug Flynn, who has a great arm, had run way over into left center field to get in position to make the relay throw, and Joe Amalfitano stopped Mick Kelleher around third. So a walk and a long double by Dave Rader, and the Cubs have runners on second and third, nobody out. Joe Torre has come out to the mound. On second and third. What a task in front of Dale Murray right now. The batter is Steve Ontiveros. And Ontiveros hit a line double off Lockwood down the right field line, driving 2 runs in the 7th inning. They're going to intentionally walk Ontiveros. And then Bruce Sutter is scheduled up. Sutter in the number 1 spot in the batting order. Rudy Meoli is about the only person left for Herman Franks to use as a pinch hitter. Infielder Rudy Meoli is the only man that Herman Franks has not used in this ball game. So I'm sure we're going to see Meoli right now.
Meoli will be the pinch hitter for Sutter. Meoli.
So Sutter is out of the game for a pinch hitter. The bases loaded, nobody out. The pinch hitter is infielder Rudy Meoli. He'll be hitting left-handed against Dale Murray. Now the Mets bring the infield in to the edge of the grass, trying for a play at the plate. Left-hander Dave Geisel and right-hander Mike Krukow are warming up in the Cub bullpen. Butch Metzger warming up for the New York Mets. Dale Murray makes the stretch. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1 to Rudy Meoli. Mick Kelleher is on third. Dave Rader on second. Steve Ontiveros on first. The infield playing in. This usually gives the advantage to the hitter. The pitch by Dale Murray. Strike called at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. If Dale Murray gets by Rudy Meoli, then he'll be pitching to Ivan De Jesus. Behind that, you have Bobby Mercer. Meoli getting back into the batter's box. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch on the way. Inside, low, ball 2. 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Rudy Meoli. Cubs will have a new pitcher in the game in the ninth inning. They use Willie Hernandez as a pinch runner. They have Geisel, a left-hander, and Krukow, a right-hander, working. 2-1 delivery. Line drive to left field. Henderson there makes the catch. The runner will not try to score. 1 man away on a line drive caught by Henderson. And with nobody away at the time, Joe Amalfitano had Kelleher holding up. Wisely so. Had he tried to score, he probably would have been out. Rudy Meoli hit the ball hard. A line shot to left field. One man away. The hitter is Ivan De Jesus, the shortstop. He has 2 for 4, a single and a double. He got the double in the 6th inning when he hit a high fly to short right field that Tommy Grieve lost in the sun. Game tied at 5-5, last of the 8th inning. Mick Kelleher is on third, Dave Rader on second, Steve Ontiveros on first. Dale Murray's pitch, a ground ball hit toward the hole. Foley up with the ball, throws home. Out, force play. Out at the plate, 2 down. Foley threw the ball to the plate, and on a very close play, Mick Kelleher was out. Now there are 2 men away, and the bases loaded, and Bobby Mercer comes up. That was a beautiful fielding play by Tim Foley. That was a tough chance. Now the lead runner is Dave Rader on third, Steve Ontiveros on second, and De Jesus on first. 2 men away, and the batter is Bobby Mercer. Dale Murray off the stretch, and the pitch. Inside and low, ball 1. One ball and no strikes to Bobby Mercer. The veteran outfielder has 1 hit and 4 times at bat in today's game. 5-5, last of the 8th. Bases loaded, 2 men down. Mercer, left-hand hitter, takes inside and low, ball 2. A walk would force in the leading run. Now Mercer will be taking a good look at the pitch. Dave Kingman is the on-deck batter. Dale Murray getting behind on Bobby Mercer. 2 balls, no strikes. Let's have the infield deep and around to right. The 2-0 delivery. Strike called on the inside corner. It's 2-1. Dave Rader leading down the line from third. Ontiveros on second. De Jesus on first. And a foul back upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dale Murray walking around behind the mound now. The game hanging right on the line. The last of the 8th inning, 5-5. Dale Murray looking in now to John Stearns, and they'll make their decision on what they're going to throw to Bobby Mercer. Pitching 2-2. Fouled back on the screen, no play. Butch Metzger warming up for New York. Dave Geisel and Mike Krukow warming up for the Cubs. Cubs will have a new pitcher in the game in the 9th. Now Dale Murray makes the 1-second stop. Here's the pitch. Low inside, ball 3. Three and 2, the big one due. 2 men away. Bases loaded, and the count 3-2 on Bobby Mercer. Right now, both Dale Murray and Bobby Mercer have a lot to think about. The infield deep on the right side, of the outfield deep against power hitter Bobby Mercer. Here's the stretch by Murray, and the pitch. Foul ball off to the right, no play. It all comes up again. Dave Rader, Steve Ontiveros, and Ivan De Jesus are the base runners. Dale Murray facing up once again to the dramatic 3-2 situation. Bobby Mercer wagging the bat around, waiting on Dale Murray. Now the stretch. And the pitch. Ball 4. Cubs take the lead. Bobby Mercer walks on 3-2. Forcing home Dave Rader. Now Kingman comes up with the bases loaded. Cubs lead 6-5. Kingman is 0 for 2, but has driven in 2 runs with sacrifice flies. Kingman now with 43 runs batted in. Mets spread the infield out against Kingman, who's been trying to hit the right field. Now the pitch. And a ground ball base hit going into right field for Kingman. Ontiveros will score. De Jesus will score. The throw to third, cut off. Kingman now has 4 runs batted in. And the Cubs have a 3-run lead. Chicago leading 8-5. Kingman has driven in 4 of the 8 runs. Now has 45 for the year. Greg Gross is the 9th man to bat. 10 men came to bat in the 7th. 9 men have come to bat in the 8th inning. That's bullpen falling apart in this ball game. And a strike called on the inside corner. Dale Murray faced a bases-loaded, nobody-out situation. Retired the next 2 hitters. Looked like he might get out of it, but he walked Mercer on 3 and 2. And Kingman then singled to right, driving 2 runs in. And he sliced to short, taken by Foley. He throws to Flynn, force play, and the side retired. Good play by Foley. That ball hit very hard by Greg Gross. Low line drive, and Foley stabbed it on 1 hop. And recovered in time to get a force play. So in the 8th inning, the Cubs scored 3 runs. On 2 hits, no errors, and 2 were left on. Cubs have scored 7 runs in the last 2 innings. At the end of 8, the Cubs 8 and the Mets 5.
Here's good news for New York Mets fans. Now, containers of Dairy Lean low-fat milk carry free coupons good for free tickets to the Mets baseball games. You have your choice of 20 games during the season. They're printed on the container, so we're pretty sure we have a game of your choice for you to see absolutely free. You can find Dairy Lean low-fat milk in the colorful purple container in the dairy case at your local food store. It's protein fortified with vitamins A and D added. If you're watching your diet, remember, it contains only 1% milk fat. It's a great product because it satisfies hunger and thirst at the very same time, filling you up without filling you out. So try Dairy Lean low-fat milk soon. Save those coupons, print it on the carton, and come on out to see a New York Mets game absolutely free.
Mike Krukow will pitch in the 9th inning for the Chicago Cubs. He had been pitching at Wichita. He was a Cubs starter all last year, but lost his starting job to a rookie, Dennis Lamp, and had gone to Wichita. He has just come in, and he takes the 25th place on the roster. Spot vacated by Paul Russell, who was sent to Cleveland on waivers. At Wichita, Krukow was 2-3. And New York now trailing by 3 as we go to the 9th inning. Lenny Randall will lead off against Krukow. The runs scored in the last of the 8th inning belong to Bruce Sutter. So the pitchers of record right now are Bruce Sutter and Dale Murray. Lenny Randall, 1 for 3 and a walk, leading off in the 9th inning. And the pitch under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Mike Krukow sighting in on his target, and he misses inside and low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Krukow is the 4th Chicago pitcher. The Mets also have used 4. The 2-0 delivery. Ball 3, inside and low, 3-0. And doesn't go away. 3-0 delivery. Ball 4. Randall is on with a walk. Mike Krukow on 4 pitches, walking Lenny Randall. And Elliot Maddox is coming up. Behind Maddox in the batting order, Steve Henderson and then Willie Montañez. Dave Geisel, a left-hander, will get up again in the Chicago Cub bullpen. Elliot Maddox 1 for 3 and a walk, and the pitch is low, ball 1. And the big Cub crowd stirring around and becoming a little uneasy. Krukow delivers. Fastball, a strike call, 1-1. Cubs 8 runs on 11 hits. New York 5 runs on 10 hits. The 1-1 delivery, low outside. 2 balls and a strike to Elliot Maddox. Cubs had the game under control through the first 6 innings. They were ahead 4-1. But the game fell apart on New York in the 7th. They dropped behind 5-4. Stearns tied it up with a home run off Bruce Sutter. But then in the last of the 8th inning, Mercer walked with the bases loaded, giving Chicago a 6-5 lead. Kingman singled to right, driving in 2 more to make it 8-5. Now the pitch. High fly ball, well hit to left field. Kingman going back to the wall, won't get it. It is gone, a home run. A 2-run homer by Elliot Maddox, his first home run in the National League. And now we have an 8-7 ball game. Elliot Maddox, who had 3 hits yesterday, getting his second hit of this game. It is a 2-run homer. And I believe this will be it for Mike Krukow. Dave Geisel, a left-hander, is ready in the bullpen. And even though a right-hand hitter, Steve Henderson, is coming up, looks like Franks is going to the bullpen right now. He'll bring the left-hander in.
We will be back on side 2 to continue the game.
So now it is nobody on and nobody out. 8-7, the Cubs lead by 1. Now Lee Mazzilli is loosening his arm up. Steve Henderson, Willie Montañez, and Joel Youngblood are the next 3 batters due to come up. Geisel, the 5th hurler, called on by Herman Franks. Mets now have scored 7 runs on 11 hits. Guzman had the game under control until he became arm-weary and walked 2 in the 7th inning and left the game. By the time Jerry left, he had a 4-1 lead. Now the windup by Geisel and the pitch to Henderson. Strike called in the outside corner. Geisel checking it out with Dave Rader. In comes the pitch, and a drive slicing toward the right field line, dropping in, base hit. Henderson around first on his way to second. He'll go into second base standing up. Henderson sliced that one down the right field line, beyond the reach of Bobby Mercer, and he winds up on second base with a double. For Steve Henderson, his 3rd hit of the game. Now the tying run is on second base, nobody out. Willie Montañez coming up. Willie is 0 for 4. Dal Maxville wants to talk with Willie Montañez. Ralph Kiner, do you think they might have Montañez bunt on the spot?
No possible way.
I wouldn't think so. But Dal Maxwell called Willie Montañez into a conference. Willie is 0 for 4 this afternoon, but he's been the most reliable hitter in the lineup, getting runs home. In the Cub bullpen, right-hander Donnie Moore now is warming up. No, check that. It's going to be Ray Burris, a starting pitcher. Ray Burris getting ready in a hurry in the bullpen. Behind Montañez, you have Joel Youngblood and then John Stearns. Now we're ready to go. Dave Geisel off the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Geisel got a bad break on the ball hit by Steve Henderson. He hooked that ball or sliced it down the right field line. It was fading away from the right fielder. It wasn't really hit that hard, but perfectly placed. Pitch to Montañez. Wild swing and a miss and a curveball, strike two. Lee Mazzilli is around the bat rack for the New York Mets. Lee fouled the ball against his right foot in yesterday's game. Did not start today for the first time all year long. Geisel out in front on Montañez with a 2-strike count. Now the pitch on the way. And a wild swing and a miss and a breaking ball low outside. So Geisel fans Willie Montañez. He was really fooling Willie with his motion. That pitch was way outside, but Willie went for it. Joel Youngblood coming up. Joel has batted only one time. He hit a hard ground ball to short. Now Herman Franks is on his way to the mound. Ray Burris, normally a starting pitcher for the Cubs, has been warming up in the bullpen.
I would say that if Herman Franks makes a move here to a right-hand pitcher, we'll see Lee Mazzilli bat.
Lee has been around the bat rack. He is ready. So Herman has to decide whether he wants the left-hander to pitch to Youngblood or the right-hander to pitch to Lee Mazzilli. And that decision has not been made as yet, or at least the sign has not gone to the bullpen. Herman holding a meeting on the mound. Plate umpire Bruce Froming is out there. Steve Henderson on second, one away. We're in the ninth inning, 8-7, Chicago leading.
Last thing that Herman Franks wanted to see was a game like this. He is calling in a starting pitcher, Ray Burris, to pitch here, and Burris will be the sixth pitcher used, and they have a 5-game series coming up with the Philadelphia Phillies starting tomorrow.
Ray Burris is coming in. It will be his second relief appearance of the year. He started 17 ball games. It is the second time that he has been used in relief. Burris was the starting pitcher in the first game of this series and worked 4 innings. His other relief appearance came on the 14th of May when he relieved against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now Lee Mazzilli, who was sitting this game out after damaging his foot with a foul ball yesterday, is going to bat for Joel Youngblood. Mazzilli hitting .287, 6 home runs, and 31 runs batted in. Herman Franks going to a starting pitcher, trying to save a win here in the ninth inning. We have had 2 very wild ball games in this series. 10-9 in the opening ball game, and that opening game, in the 5th inning, each team scored 6 runs. Now we are ready to resume. Lee Mazzilli standing in. Henderson, the tying run on second, and 1 man away. Burris, a tall, lanky right-hander, checks the runner at second. And the pitch to Mazzilli. Inside low, ball 1. Cubs playing the infield just a step to right. The outfield straight away against Lee Mazzilli. Steve Henderson with a leadoff second. The 1-0 delivery. Under the knees, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. John Stearns on deck. John has a perfect day at the plate with 2 singles, a home run, and a walk. Ray Burris behind on the count. The 2-0 delivery, swing and a miss, 2-1. Herman Franks has completely used his reserve strength in this game today. He does not have a single available pinch hitter. The 2-1 delivery, off-speed delivery over for a called strike. As he has done in this series, he could use pitcher Dave Roberts as a pinch hitter. Roberts appeared as a pinch hitter and got a base hit. But all of the non-pitchers have been in the game. Now it's 2-2 to Lee Mazzilli. Ray Burris delivers. Inside low, ball 3. 3-2. Chicago 8, New York 7. We're in the 9th inning. Steve Henderson on second base and 1 away. Burris checking it out with Dave Rader. Now the 6'5 right-hander is set. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 call. Mazzilli thought he had a walk. Fastball called on the outside corner. 2 men down. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WMCA, Strauss Communications in New York. 57 on your AM dial. The radio home of the New York Mets.
Bob Murphy with Ralph Kiner and Lindsey Nelson. 8-7, Chicago leading. 9th inning, tying run on second. And now the hitter is John Stearns with 2 men away. John has had a perfect day his last time at bat. He hit a home run, his second of the series, and he hit it off Bruce Sutter. Right-hander against right-hander. Low outside, ball 1. Cubs play their outfield around the left against John Stearns. Now Ray Burris checks the runner at second, and the pitch. Under the knees, ball 2. He went behind Mazzilli 2-0, but he came back to strike him out on 3-2. Crowd of over 24,000 for this Wednesday afternoon game. Ray Burris with a count of 2-0. The pitch to Stearns. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Burris is the 6th pitcher used by Herman Franks. Used 5 in the first game, 4 in the second, and 6 in this game. Now Henderson leading away at second base. The 2-1 delivery. Low outside, ball 3. Ronnie Hodges is around the bat rack. We may see him as a pinch hitter if John Stearns can get on. 2 men away, the count 3-1 on Stearns now. Burris makes the 1-second stop. Here's the pitch, a strike call, 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. Nothing going in either bullpen. Pitchers of record in the game are Bruce Sutter and Dale Murray. It is 3-2 on John Stearns as he waits now on Ray Burris. The 3-2 delivery Ball 4. Racing to third as the ball gets away from the catcher, Steve Henderson. On 3-2, a low outside breaking ball broke off the mitt of Dave Rader. And now the Mets have runners on first and third. And Ron Hodges will bat for Tim Foley.
It's a walk and a pass ball.
Official score says it's a walk and a pass ball.
Number 42, Ron Hodges will pick for Foley.
Left-hand hitter Ron Hodges will bat for right-hand hitter Tim Foley. Runners on first and third, 2 men away. Top of the ninth inning, 8-7 Chicago. Ray Burris went 3-2 on Mazzilli, and then got the fastball over the outside corner for a call, third strike. He went 3-2 on Stearns, but he missed low and away. Henderson moving over to third as a pass ball was charged. John Stearns is on first. Quite a day for John Stearns. He's been on base 5 times in a row. Now Joe Torre has used his reserve strength with the exception of Bobby Valentine and Bruce Beauclair. Ronnie Hodges standing in. Mets 1 behind, 2 men away. Ray Burris fires, and a base hit to center field by Ronnie Hodges. Henderson comes home. The game is tied. Go to second, not in time. Hodges, hitting the first delivery, has singled to center field and tied up the ball game. Down to their last out in the ninth inning. A single to center by Ron Hodges ties up the ball game. They tried to get a play on Stearns rounding second. It was close, but Stearns got back. So this game is tied up 8-8. Doug Flynn, the batter, runners on first and second. And a high pop fly into short center field. Calling for it is Kelleher, the second baseman, and he has it for the out. Let's tie up the game in the ninth inning. They came to bat 3 runs behind, and they fought back to tie it up. 3 runs. 3 hits. There were 2 left on. Now, in the middle of the ninth inning, the New York Mets 8 and the Chicago Cubs 8.
From the shores of Long Island Sound to the hills of New Jersey, if it's happening on the weekends, it's happening on WMCA. Hi, this is Warren Dean, inviting you to join me each Saturday for Weekend Happenings, presented after Mutual News on the hour and half hour from 6 to 10 in the morning. Weekend Happenings tells you about everything that's going on in the greater New York area. Weekend Happenings only on WMCA, Talk Radio 57.
Message for New Jerseyites who may be cleaning out the attic or refurnishing their houses. Donations of clothing, furniture, electrical appliances, or toys and games are welcome at Goodwill Industries. They make free pickup and you get a tax deduction. Dial 201-435-2344.
Dale Murray is on the mound for New York. Dale gave up 3 runs in the 8th inning. Hopes to have his good stuff going now for the last of the 9th inning. We'll check out the changes for New York. Lee Mazzilli will stay in the game and play center field.
Number 42, Ron Hodges remains in the game and will catch.
Ronnie Hodges will stay in the game and catch. John Stearns will go to third, Lenny Randall to second, and Doug Flynn to short. This might very well be the first time that John Stearns has played third. Ralph, do you remember when he played third?
Surely don't.
Of course, the years Jerry Grody was with the Mets, occasionally Jerry would play third. Joe Torre wants to keep Stearns' bat in the lineup.
Kendall is playing second. Flynn is playing short. And John Stearns is playing third. Ronnie Hodges is now catching. Dale Murray pitched the 8th inning, got himself into a bases loaded, nobody out situation, and almost got away from it. Retired the next 2 hitters with the runners holding. Then he went to 3-2 on Bobby Mercer, and Mercer walked, at the time giving Chicago a 6-5 lead. Then Kingman singled to right, driving 2 in to make it 8-5. Mets coming back to tie the game on a walk to Randall, a 2-run homer by Elliot Maddox, and later a timely single by Ron Hodges to tie it up. Larry Bittner is the batter, and a strike call. Bittner 3 for 4 in the ball game. Paul Siebert got him out of the 7th inning with the bases loaded. High, outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jerry Koosman, Skip Lockwood, Paul Siebert, and Dale Murray have pitched for New York. The 1-1 delivery, high and away, 2-1. Last of the 9th inning, and what a struggle. Dale Murray winding the 2-1 delivery, and he goes behind 3-1. Dale got himself in trouble in the last of the 8th inning when he walked the leadoff batter, Mick Kelleher. Dave Rader followed that with a double, and an intentional walk loaded the bases. Ball 4, and Bittner has opened the last of the 9th with a walk. Fourth walk by Dale Murray. Rube Walker coming out to the mound. Both teams are facing a very tough series. The Mets are going to Pittsburgh for a 4-game series. Philadelphia coming here to Wrigley Field for a 5-game series. And playing at Wrigley Field, Ralph Kiner can really chew up a pitching staff, can it?
It certainly can. We've seen an awful lot of pitching. 11 pitchers in the first game, and now in this ball game, we've seen 10. Pat Zachary, the only pitcher that started to end up a game that was started by a pitcher.
Pat turned in a complete game, his 4th of the year, in winning his 9th against only 3 losses yesterday afternoon, with the Mets winning 7-2. Now here's an obvious bunt situation. Bittner has just walked. Leading off the last of the 9th inning of a tie ball game, and the batter is Mick Kelleher. And then on deck, Dave Rader. Dale Murray throws to first, not in time. Might be a tough test for John Stearns, who's playing third. Probably the first time he's played third in the major leagues. He squares around, bunts, back toward the mound, picked up by Dale Murray, thrown to Randall in time for the out. But they move the potential winning run to second base. Play went Dale Murray to Lenny Randall at first.
Got a situation now where the Mets have 2 good hitters coming up, one especially hot, and then the pitcher. So we'll see how we'll look at the maneuvering.
Dave Rader is the batter now. Of course, first base is open after the sacrifice. Steve Ontiveros is hitting number 9 in the batting order. He came in as a pinch hitter, doubled 2 runs in off Lockwood in the 7th. But they will walk Rader and fill that open base. That way, the Mets have a force play at first, second, or third, and a shot at a double play. They're going to have to get out a very hot batter in Steve Ontiveros. Ontiveros lined a double down into the right field corner, driving 2 runs in as a pinch hitter in the 7th. Then he drew an intentional walk in the 8th inning. So Dave Rader goes down to first. Now the hitter is Ontiveros. He has been the hottest batter in the Cub lineup the last 2 weeks. He got away with a very cold start this year. the on-deck batter is Ray Burris. He is hitting in the leadoff spot in the batting order. So the winning run is on second base. Runners on first and second, one out. Dale Murray working against the left-hand hitter Ontiveros. Here's the pitch on the way, inside and low, ball one. Skip Lockwood was wild, but he relieved for Jerry Koosman, and Dale Murray has had control trouble. The game is deadlocked, 8-8, and we're in the home ninth inning. Now Murray delivers. Wild pitch, and the runners will go to second and third. Murray uncorked a wild pitch. So first base is open. Now you'll see Ontiveros intentionally walk, and the pitcher will be coming up. And Ralph, as we mentioned earlier, Herman Franks has used all of his non-pitchers. If he wants to put up a pinch hitter, it would be a pitcher, Dave Roberts.
And then he would have nobody to pitch unless it would be Dave Roberts after that. So it will be a situation here. We'll see a bases loaded situation with the pitcher up, and it'll be the hitter Ray Burris, who's not a bad hitting pitcher.
Not bad at all. Earlier in the game, he used Willie Hernandez, one of his relief pitchers, as a pinch runner. Maybe Hernandez has a tired arm or something. So now they intentionally walk on Taveros. The bases are loaded. One man away. And Ray Burris is coming up to hit, I believe. Third base coach Amalfitano wants to talk to Ray Burris. Larry Bittner is the winning run. He's on third. And the third base coach, Amalfitano, has his arm around Ray Burris talking to him. Herman Franks has used all of his non-pitcher personnel. So now the hitter is Ray Burris. The base is loaded on 3 walks. The last 2 have been intentional. The last one came about as the result of a wild pitch. Now the infield must play in very close to the edge of the grass. They have John Stearns, a catcher, playing third. Will the Cubs try a squeeze, or will Burris swing away? Here's the stretch. And the pitch on the way, and a bouncing ball hit slowly, grabbed by Murray, go to the plate, out! Out at the plate! What a play by Ronnie Hodges to keep his foot on the plate. Big swing, a slow bouncer, Murray off the mound, made a beautiful play, picked the ball up with his bare hand, threw the ball, and it was rising, but Hodges kept his foot on the plate, went up over his head, caught the ball, and made the force play. Now there are 2 men away. The batter will be Ivan De Jesus. Bases loaded, 2 men away. Last of the 9th inning, De Jesus, the batter. He has 2 hits and 5 times at bat. Ronnie Hodges calling time. He will talk with Dale Murray. Looked like that throw was going to get away, but Hodges made a beautiful play to go up and grab it.
And also, you can't really fault Dale Murray. He had an awfully tough play. He had to barehand the ball and throw it all in a running motion, and he made a fairly accurate throw, and Stearns stayed on the base.
He made a marvelous play. He had to run from the mound to the third base line, and while running, reach out, grab it with his bare hand, and flip it all in the same motion. So now the bases are loaded. There are 2 men away. And the batter is Ivan De Jesus. Here's the windup, the pitch by Murray. Fastball, a strike. Bobby Mercer on deck. Mets are hoping that if he comes to bat, it'll be in the next inning. Game tied 8-8. Bases loaded, 2 down, bottom half of the 9th inning. And the pitch on the way. Look out. High and tight, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs have not had a hit in this inning, and there's so much action. All because of a walk to the leadoff batter. Now the wind-up, the 1-1 delivery. And a fly ball hit the right field, fairly deep. Maddox going back. He'll get under it. Makes the catch. Will go to extra innings. Elliot Maddox retreating in right field. And he made the catch of a well-hit fly ball. So, in the Cub ninth inning, no runs, no hits. There were 3 left on. At the end of 9 at Wrigley Field.
We are driven to be first.
Well, in one of the wildest baseball games of the year, we now go to the 10th inning. The Mets know all about extra inning ball games. They've already had 17 of them. Ray Burris, the starting pitcher, is working for the Cubs. Mets are going to put up a pinch hitter, and to tell you about it and pick up the action, here's Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Bob Murphy, it's Bruce Beauclair to pinch hit for the pitcher. Cubs in extra inning ball games have won 9 and lost only 2. Mets have a record of 6-11 in 17 extra inning ball games. Mets have an outside chance to, well, more than an outside chance, a good chance to set a record for most extra inning ball games in a year in the National League. Beauclair to bat for the pitcher. Dale Murray on the mound. Ray Burris making his second appearance as a relief pitcher, and he starts off with the changeup, and it's ball 1. Butch Metzger throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. He'll be their next pitcher. Beauclair hitting .223, 3 home runs, 12 runs batted in. And the pitch back, a called strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets 8 runs on 13 hits. The Cubs have 8 runs on 11. And a little looper out into shallow right center field. A broken bat base hit that drops in. The bat shattered and the head of the bat going down toward the first base side. And Beauclair has singled the lead off the top of the 10th inning. So with Beauclair on, no one out, the batter will be Len Randall. Mets get their 14th base hit. One point in this ball game, the Mets were leading by a score of 3-0. They tacked in another run and led by a score of 4-0. Then it was 4-1. And then the Cubs came back to score 4 big ones and added 3 more in the 8th inning. The Mets tied it up with 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning. Randall coming up to the box. He'll be batting from the left-hand side. And the Cubs already tightened up. They're looking for the sacrifice. Third baseman Ontiveros right on top of Randall. The first pitch to Randall is bunted on the first base side, but it's bunted foul. And it's strike 1. Beauclair back to first base. Jerry Koosman was the starting pitcher in the ball game, and Ken Holtzman started for the Cubs, and that was way back when. Cubs have used 6, and the Mets will have used 5 when Metzger comes in the ball game. 1 strike to count to Lenny Randall. Again, Burris sets up. And the pitch, Randall squares, bunts, and misses. It's strike 2. Steve Ontiveros, when that pitch was delivered to the plate, was no more than 60 feet away. Randall trying to take an outside fastball and bunt it to the first base side. So now with 2 strikes, Ontiveros drops back a little bit at third. He's about 85 feet away. And Burris with the 2-strike pitch. Randall is in a hitting position, takes high. Fastball, it's 1-2. Holtzman worked 4, gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. McLaughlin worked 3, gave up no runs on 1 hit. Next pitch to Randall, single to center field. Beauclair goes to second base and holds there. And the Mets have runners at first and second as Randall follows the base hit by Beauclair with a single to center field. That will bring up Elliot Maddox. Maddox has singled and driven in a run. He also has had a home run as first of the year. Maddox coming up in this ball game is 2 for 4. And now a time call is Ontiveros, the third baseman, the shortstop De Jesus, talking over with Ray Burris. And the question is whether or not the Mets will be in a bunting situation. Runners at first and second, 2 men out. Suter worked 1 inning, gave up 1 run, a home run to Stearns that tied up the ball game. He allowed 2 hits. Krukow came in, did not get a man out, gave up 1 base hit and allowed 2 runs. Geisel followed with 1/3 of an inning. And now it's Maddox bunting. The ball is bunted to Olivares, who has it. He throws to the shortstop covering at third as they pull the rotation play, and Beauclair is forced at third base. The rotation play is a play that has the shortstop cover third, but the third baseman charging. Normally, the third baseman holds, the shortstop covers second. So the Cubs get an important out, and the Mets now have runners at first and second with 1 away, and Steve Henderson coming up. Henderson has had a big day today. He's had 3 hits and 5 times up. Drove in a run in the first inning. Without a base hit, he grounded into an out. On the play, the Mets got the first run of the ball game. So Henderson stepping into the batter's box. Steve batting for the first time against Burris, and the first pitch, a fastball, a called strike. Randall, the runner at second base. Maddox on at first. 1 man out, top of the 10th inning. The score tied at 8. And Ray Burris sets up again. Checks Randall at second. A long look there. And to the plate in time called on the pitcher. So as the ball was delivered to the plate, it was no pitch. The pitch was outside. So it's no pitch. The count remains at strike 1. Once again, the signs are out. And the pitch to Henderson is swung on and fouled back out of play at strike 2. Paid crowd at 24,278, seeing about as wild a ball game as you would ever want to see. Cubs scored 3 in the bottom half of the 8th to take a 3-run lead. The Mets started up with 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning. Play on at second base with the second baseman covering, but no throw. So Kelleher slowly walks back to second base position as Rando closes the gap between his lead and the bag. Time called as Henderson steps out of the batter's box. Metzger continues to throw in the bullpen for the Mets, along with Kevin Coble, a left-hander. Now the pitch, and Henderson takes a fastball inside, down around the knees, 1-2. Cubs did all their scoring in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, scoring 8 runs. Knocking Jerry Kuzman out of the box. Jerry walked himself out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch to Henderson is hit hard at the second baseman. An easy double play. The throw to Jesus is there in time, but Jesus had the double pump, but he lost the double play. So the Mets now with a runner at third and 1 man out. Henderson with good speed, beating the throw as De Jesus had the double pump after he got the throw from the second baseman, and he lost the double play. It was a hard smash at Kelleher at second. It should have been a double play, but De Jesus got the throw and then couldn't get it away. He had to pump once and come back and then throw, and Steve Henderson beat the play at first. So now runners at first and third, and the batter coming up with 2 men out is Willie Montañez. Willie has not had a base hit in this ball game. He is 0 for 5 his last time up. He struck out. Now in a situation where he can put the Mets ahead. He is the top RBI man with 47. He also leads the club in home runs with 11. Batting at .270. He brought a 4-game hitting streak into the game. Runners at first and third. Ray Burris to the set position, and here's the pitch. And it's a fastball over the inside corner, called strike. Montanez raising his arms, thinking the pitch was inside, but it caught the inside part of the plate, and it's strike one. Randall edging up at third base. Henderson leading off at first, and Burris back with his one-strike pitch. A fastball swung on and missed. It's strike two. So Burris way out in front with a two-strike count, pitching to the dangerous Willie Montanez. Shadow now extending just about to the third base foul line. As this game goes on and on. Here's the pitch to Willie. It's a fastball up high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The area between home plate and the pitcher's mound bathed in sunlight, so no problem with shadows there at this time. And now at 1-2, Burris back to Montanez, and the ball hit hard at the second baseman, but right at him. Mick Kelleher has it. The throw to first base. Retires his side. So the Mets get 2 men on with no one out, and then do not score as they leave 2 men on base with 2 base hits. And the score at the end of 9.5 innings, it's the Mets 8 and the Cubs 8.
In 1969, Jackie Stewart won his first World Racing Drivers' Championship. He repeated in 1971, then again in 1973. What Jackie Stewart doesn't know about cars hasn't been written.
I do know that cars just don't perform the way they used to. One of the reasons is the unleaded gasoline that the new engines call for. Unfortunately, most unleadeds don't have the power that gasolines used to have. Well, Getty Unleaded Regular does. It delivers the kind of power you got from gasoline before they took the lead out. Getty Unleaded Regular actually delivers more power than most other major unleadeds. As an ex-racing driver, that appeals to me. And while Getty Unleaded Regular delivers more power, it costs less than most other major unleadeds. I don't know how Getty does it. But as a Scotsman, that really appeals to me.
Getty Unleaded Regular. More power for less money.
We're going now to the bottom of the 10th inning. The Cubs will have Bobby Mercer, Dave Kingman, and Greg Gross as their first 3 batters. The Mets have a new pitch in the ball game, Butch Metzger. So while he warms up, we'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WMCA, Strauss Communications in New York. 57 on your AM dial. The radio home of the New York Mets.
Ralph Kiner, along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson, the final game of this series. And it is some sort of a ball game. The first game was 10-9. With the Cubs prevailing in spite of 4 home runs by the Mets. This one tied up at 8-8. And we're in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Bobby Mercer in the 8th inning with the bases loaded worked out a 3-2 walk that put the Cubs in front. They added 2 more runs on a single by Kingman, and they took a 3-run lead into the top of the 9th inning, but the Mets scored 3 to tie it, and now we're in the 10th. Mercer's had 1 hit, an infield base hit, and 4 official times up. Left-hand batter hitting at .246 with 3 home runs and 24 RBI. Metzger making his 24th appearance. He has a record of 1 win and 2 losses. Got his second loss on the 26th right here in this series. Worked 1/3, gave up 3 base hits and allowed 4 runs in his first pitch of ball. Metzger with a record of 1 and 2. He has no saves. And the right-hander back, and he misses low outside. It's ball 2. Walks have been numerous in this ball game. Dale Murray, working in his turn in the mound, walked 6. Kuzman walked 2. Lockwood walked 2. So the Cubs have had 10 walks to go with their 11 base hits. And there's the swing and the foul back out of play. And they count at 2 balls and 1 strike. Holtzman, the starting pitcher for the Cubs, walked 3. Krukow walked 1, and Geisel walked 1, so the Mets have had 5 walks to go with their 16 base hits. So as you can tell from the hits and walks, it has been constant action here at Wrigley Field. And the next pitch is hit in the air to left field. Beauclair playing left, moves up, and he makes the catch. Beauclair left in the game after being a pinch hitter batting in the 9th position. Steve Henderson going out, so the pitcher, Butch Metzger, will bat in the 3rd position. Now it's Dave Kingman coming up. Kingman has driven in 2 runs with sacrifice flies, and 1 single drove in 2 more. He's had 4. Kingman still persisting he will hit the right field, but on that swing he was going to take it downtown to left. A big swing and a miss. It's strike 1. Kingman trying to end this ball game right here. Kingman has had 15 home runs this year, his 15th against the Mets, batting at .240 and with 45 RBIs. And the next pitch hits him in the shoulder. So Kingman is on. Kingman is on at first base. He represents the winning run, and the batter coming up is Greg Gross. The twilight doubleheader starting in Cleveland. At the end of 1, Detroit nothing, Cleveland nothing. Jim Slayton, 7-4 going for the Tigers, and Rick Waits, 5-7 going for Cleveland. Kingman is on, and in other occasions where he has been provoked, say, to use that expression, he has at times turned it into a stolen base. So you have to be careful with him. He does have fairly good speed. Greg Gross, the batter. Greg has walked and grounded out. He came in the ballgame as a pinch hitter back in the 7th inning. Contact hitter, a left-hand batter. And the first pitch to Gross is over at the knees, a called strike. Kingman being held at first base. Montanez playing on the bag. Kingman with a short lead at this point. And now Metzger to the set. Here's the pitch. And the pitch is low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Metzger, who had an outstanding rookie year with the San Diego Padres, ready to go. And the 1-1 pitch. Change up, it's outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. He was voted the co-rookie of the year player with now New York Mets pitcher Pat Zachary. Metzger holding the ball in his glove now goes to the set, throws to first base. Kingman back from a short lead. After this ball game, Mets move on to Pittsburgh. There goes Kingman. The ball is fouled back out of play. So they count 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Kingman back to first. One thing about Wrigley Field, if it gets dark, you have to quit playing. The game is suspended, and you take it up from the point it was suspended the next time you're in town. There are no lights. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kingman again takes his lead. Metzger reads the signs. Now to the set position. Here's the pitch. And he misses high and away at 3-2, and that could mean that Kingman will be in motion with the pitch. Gross is not a strikeout hitter. He makes contact, so we'd have to assume that Kingman will be running with the pitch. Makes it tough on the infielders. Kingman does go. Here's the pitch. It's fouled off. Kingman back to first. The count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. On deck batter, Larry Bittner, a left-hander. Metzger. 5th pitcher used by Joe Torre. Cubs have used 6. Again, Metzger tosses to first base. Kingman back easily. Kingman's had 3 stolen bases in 7 tries. He has good speed. And there goes Kingman again. The ball lined to left center field. It's a base hit. Beauclair over to cut it off He throws to third base, but it is not in time. Fortunately, as the throw gets through John Stearns playing third base, it's backed up by Butch Metzger. So now the Cubs have the winning run at third with one man out on the base hit on the 3-2 pitch by Greg Gross. And the batter coming up, Larry Bittner, and Joe Torre has the option of walking Bittner. He also has the option of walking or pitching to Mick Kelleher. And then after Kelleher, the batter would be Dave Rader. So a left-hander coming up now. And we'll see how it's played. One man out. And I'm sure Larry Bittner will be walked. Bittner has had 3 hits in this ballgame. He also has walked. He's 3 for 4. And the Mets are going to put him on intentionally. And that will load up the bases. Pitch outside for ball 2. And now ball 3. And ball 4. Larry Bittner walked intentionally. That's the 11th walk the Cubs have received in this ballgame. Now with the bases loaded, one man out, Joe Torre goes to the mound. The infield will be set up by Torre. The outfield already is in. They have to play at a depth where they can hopefully catch a fly ball and keep the runner at third or throw him out. Walk and 4th intentional pass. That has been ordered in this game against the Cubs. Mick Kelleher, a right-hand batter. He is 0 for 2 with 2 walks in the sacrifice. And the Mets are playing their infield in. Infield in for play at the plate. One man out, bottom of the 10th, and the pitch is taken low, ball 1. Kelleher batting 182 for the year, has not been up too much. He's had 22 at bats. Metzger working from the set position to guard against the suicide squeeze. The pitch back is high, and it's ball 2. And with nowhere to put the batter, the count 2 balls, no strikes. Balls, no strikes. Metzger ready to go. Here's the pitch. He gets a strike. Kelleher taking all away. The count 2 balls, 1 strike. Infield is in all the way around. Stearns playing third base. Flynn at shortstop. Randall at second base. Montañez at first. And the 2-1 pitch. It's pop foul. The ball is out of reach and out of play. Willie Montañez coming over as hard as he could, saw it was going into the stands. The only way he could stop without crashing into the brick wall was to go into a slide. So Willie now up and walking back to his defensive position. The count 2-2. Infield in, outfield in. One man out, bottom of the 10th. Metzger ready. Here's the pitch. The squeeze is on. It is butted, and the ball game is over. The suicide squeeze executed by Mick Kelleher, and the Cubs win it by a score of 9-8. It is being scored a base hit, so the Cubs get the final run on 2 hits. 3 men were left on base. And the final score, the Cubs 9 and the Mets 8. We'll be back with a recap in just 1 minute right after this message.
Hi, I'm Gary Knoll for Natural Living. I know that all you Mets fans really enjoy an active and vital lifestyle. Well, so do I. And that's what Natural Living is all about. Weekdays between 2 and 4 and Saturdays between 10 and 2. We cover a lot of ground from soup to sex and everything in between. We also hear from many of America's leading health and nutrition experts every day. So join me, Gary Knoll, for Natural Living here on WMCA Talk Radio 57.
If your house or neighborhood is of historic significance, it could be eligible for the National Register of Historic Places, and you might be eligible for a federal loan for home or neighborhood improvement. For details, contact your local office of the United States Department of Housing.
Well, in 10 innings, the Cubs win it by a score of 9-8. And to give you a recap of the action, here's Bob Murphy.
Well, the irony, after all of that hitting and after all of that struggling, the game winds up on a successful squeeze bunt by Mick Kelleher to score Dave Kingman with the winning run. It looked like this was the day Jerry Kuzma would break a 5-game losing streak. He appeared to have the game well under hand with a 4-1 lead in the 7th inning. He became arm weary. He left the ball game with the bases loaded, nobody out, and ahead 4-1. Skip Lockwood came in. It was not to be Lockwood's day. As a pinch hitter, Ontiveros promptly doubled. The Cubs went on to score 4 runs, take a 5-4 lead. They brought in Bruce Sutter. But John Stearns, who was a hero throughout the day for New York, hit a home run to tie up the ball game. The Cubs came roaring right back, getting 3 off Dale Murray, and they had an 8-5 lead going to the 9th inning. But in the 9th inning, the Mets again fought back, with Elliot Maddox hitting a 2-run homer, and later in the inning, Ronnie Hodges, as a pinch hitter, singling over a run. It tied the game at 9-9. The Cubs win it in the 10th inning on a successful squeeze bunt. Lack of control by the bullpen hurt in today's ball game. Lockwood did not have control, nor did Dale Murray, nor did Butch Metzger. So the Cubs win 2 games of the series by the margin of 1 run. They won the first game 10-9. The Mets won yesterday 7-2 with Zachary. The Cubs come from behind and win in extra innings today by a final score of 9-8. Cubs are now 10-2 in extra inning ball games. The winning pitcher in relief is Ray Burris, a starting pitcher. He now has won 5 and lost 5. He worked an inning and 2/3. The loser in relief, Butch Metzger. Butch losing both games in the series. Butch now has won 1 and lost 3. Playing time 3 hours and 35 minutes. The crowd 24,278. And the line score reads out like this. The Cubs 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error, and 15 left on base. New York 8 runs, 15 hits, including 3 home runs, no errors, and 11 left on.